Keep it on me. Go live. We're going live. I believe we are live. We're going to go on air right now, and then we're going to go back to this. Good. So we keep it on. Hey, look at this. Look what I can do. Let's go, Kai.
What the?
Wow, now I can do. Megan Merritt says hello. Brian
Whoa.
Gillis says that Kai guy, and I can turn these comments off. Boom, there we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the I'm Doing Great podcast. We're here live. We're here with our buddy Kai Clips is here. He's in the studio. Let's look at this handsome face. He's got some merch.
Let's go. Wearing the I'm Doing Great merch. That is so clean.
Where can we go to get this merch, Kai?
Actually, I'm doing shop?
No.
I'm doing merch.
I'mDoingMerch.com. Guys, go to I'mDoingMerch.com. Go get your shirts there. Let's see. Look at Jimbo McKee says, let's go.
True.
Brittany Reyes, Kai has returned. He has indeed returned.
Full
Jason
time.
Smith, New York, up in this mofo. No hatchets, though. I'm from New York. New York. Zach B, let's go. Wait, hold on. They're coming up very quick. Let's go. Very epic. Miguel says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Miguel? Also, the super chat will get you a priority of having your comment down below. So remember to give super chats, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell on any of our other videos. Also, shout out to Sonoran Defense. Okay, they make cool accessories for guns and they do great stippling. Go to SonoranDefense.com. You get 10% off with your code IDG10. And then also go to I'mDoingMerch.com. Listen, we're having a sale. It's really for all citizens with the passports on locals. But if you want 10% off, go to I'mDoingMerch.com right now and type in the code LOCALS10 at checkout. You're going to get 10% off of any of your purchases. Kai, what do you think about that?
That's major. That's major.
It really is major. Thanks for being here. And guys, we also don't have Gina in at the moment. We also don't have any of our lights set up right now.
What the?
So Kai, listen, while I set up the lights, how about we put the camera on you and you can talk for a little bit?
Monologue.
Yeah.
Sure thing. And back in the day in
look at this.
middle school.
You can react to some of these.
Hey, Screw Off Capitalist. We freaking love that guy. I don't know who this guest is, but this channel usually has good ones. It's very true.
Here, talk about this.
Okay, ask Kai. Oh, bruh. No, I don't even want to dignify that with a response. This guy's been in the chat since before the episode, and he's like,
oh, boy.
Need to confront Kai.
About what? What do you got to confront him about, dude? Okay, talk. Honestly, big numbers here.
Big, very large numbers. Very large numbers.
Hey, look at this one before I set up the lights.
Suckle Gang, that's so true. We've made major strides. We've got so many people on board. Ryan Katz-Rivera, we've got Gavin McInnes, we've got so many fine people, John Doyle, we've got myself, of course, the CEO of Suckle Gang. Mike, are you Suckle Gang?
Not
yet, but I mean, Suckle Gang curious.
Listen,
Suckle curious.
Your show right now for 5 minutes. This is your show right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Out of Touch. I'm your charismatic host, Kai Clips. I'll be joined momentarily by Gina's ghost and Mike's ghost. We'll be discussing the afterlife. We're trying to get them set up with the expansion pack of getting their own planets in the Mormon DLC. is what we're working on right now. We were just talking about LGBTQ representation and Jeffrey Dahmer, a representative of the gay community. Honestly, this is a guy who was kind of this innovator within the community. He went places that nobody thought they should go before or in the future. And frankly, the gay community owes him a great debt for paving the way in dismembering and cannibalizing boys and men. Of course, though, that representation of their community was one that they were not a very big fan of. Seems interesting that now we are denying historical realities. We are seeing gay revisionism from the community here. I like we've got this motif of the Sith and the Jedi here. Yeah, you put yourself on the side of the Jedi. Gina's the Sith.
I thought they were green.
No, Yoda's lightsaber's green, but the Jedi are always blue.
But what about those ships?
The ships?
They do the space battles. The blasters from the planes are always like green.
Is that true?
From the Resistance, right? Like
maybe, I don't know.
I could be lying.
I know there's like the green lightsaber is always. I'm not like the biggest Star Wars head, so.
That's why I was surprised that you're actually even talking about
Well, I mean, it's like the red blue dichotomy. What do you guys think about those lights, huh? Live audience.
It looks a lot better.
It does.
What about me? Am I too bright?
I can't even see you.
Right now? Yeah, I'm probably a little bit bright.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna go on camera.
This episode is brought to you by 200 milligrams of caffeine.
All right,
And-
well, I can bring up comments now while Adriano is just kind of fixing my
Yeah.
camera because I'm a little bit too bright. It's this freaking light. Yes. Can you just bring that like down as much as possible?
And for viewers at home, I did grow patchy facial hair again
Or how about,
to
Adriano,
keep the
maybe
motif.
Pull it, or just point it up towards the ceiling a little bit. Oh, there we go.
So good.
Yeah, that's better.
So good.
Oh, look, we got a super chat here from Zachary Hellig. What's up, Kai? Super
Hey.
chat, $5. Thank you for that, Zachary.
What's up, Zachary? How are you, big guy?
The timestamp guy. What's up, timestamp guy? How you doing?
Laughing, crying emoji.
Here we go. The lights are doing great. Keck from Miguel. Miguel,
Let's go.
thanks again for commenting. We really do
Love that
appreciate
guy.
those that I'm doing great. Yeah, and then what's up, Kai? The super chat. Thanks again. Remember, all the super chats do get priority up in the chat pool. This is the first time that I'm able to get the. Yeah, camera's still on you, so
I know.
you're flexing. They can hear my voice because we have Adriano.
So like I said, it's the ghost of Mike. You can just hear his voice, the whispering. Ooh, the lights being rigged up are pretty cool.
That's cool. All right, here we go.
I don't have my hair this time around. I got the haircut.
Oh, you did. That's
People
right.
aren't even going to recognize me.
Oh.
This is new Kai. This is a new
Oh,
me.
we have to address this, Kai. So Emily L says, it's been a few hours since, but ending thoughts of Whataburger. Let's bring your ending thoughts up first, because I know that you actually had a good experience. Stop with the chat scrolling. Oh, my God. Okay. So
yeah,
Gina's on her way.
Okay, epic.
Yeah.
I had the best patty melt I've ever had from Whataburger, and that's kind of the typical order. To preface, I haven't had like their just burgers. I tried the bacon blue cheese burger the last time I went. I thought it was like, I should have noticed it was too gimmicky.
Yeah.
I didn't stop myself. I had it. I mean, the blue cheese was predictably overpowering, but this time around, courtesy of course, Mike taking us, we sat inside, we had a great dining experience, and I had the best patty melt I've ever had. It was totally delicious. And of course, this is a delicacy of Zog Chow that I don't have in my home state of Utah. We do have In-N-Out though.
Let the viewers know how I related blue cheese to garlic, though. Remember what did I say about garlic?
Yeah, so, well, there were a few things. The first is that you would mince up garlic and have orange juice with it whenever you had like a cold or whatever.
Yeah, so here you go, guys. If it's during cold flu season, or just for your general immune system health, take up 1 clove of garlic, chop it up, mince it up, put it on a teaspoon, get a little glass of orange juice. Just go right down the hatch with the garlic, swallow it, don't chew it, swallow it, and then follow it with orange juice, and it's really great vitamin C and garlic for your health. But then I also said blue cheese, like you said, is very overpowering, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
It's good during,
Yep.
but then after you're kind of like, oh, I got this kind of pastiness on the roof of my mouth. Garlic, on the other hand, it's a good overpowering.
Yeah.
I'm never sick of garlic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially with steaks. I mean, the garlic powder on steaks, or you put the butter in the pan, you throw in the raw garlic. You need to be raw garlic maxing. You need to be emanating this stench at all times to ward off succubi that might approach you. You just need this green odor.
Yeah, well,
just oozing from your pores.
When I do steaks, and I usually do it with the New York strip steak, I get at least 5 cloves of garlic to put in there with just 1 piece of steak.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I run out of clove garlic, you know how you can buy like the minced garlic in the jar and it has the juice in it? I'll just take a teaspoon of the minced garlic and just throw it right on the pan.
Yep.
Yeah. And then mix it with the butter, and then you got a good garlic butter. It's really nice.
You got to let it oxidize. It's actually, this is totally just like not anything that you can find in a journal or anywhere else, but I got put onto the raw garlic because it's apparently, boosts natural testosterone, and it also is a vascularity enhancer. So you're going to see more veins popping up if you're eating raw garlic. And I'm on a bulk right now, so losing vascularity is like the toughest part.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
We gave Kai an oversized "I'm doing great" shirt, so he's gonna bulk into
Fill
it.
this in.
Here, let me ask you a question. Now, with your steaks, this is very important. It lets me know about your personality. It lets me know about
I've
who
got the
you
right
are.
answer.
I don't think you do.
I do.
Are you a rosemary or thyme person?
Oh, this is a different question than I thought. I'm a rosemary guy.
See, I'm a thyme guy. Rosemary's a bit too sweet.
Okay.
It's a bit too sweet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
I like a little bit of the, that thyme has a little bit more of like that kind of like piney smell, a little bit saltier, a little bit more earthy. Rosemary's a bit sweet, though not bad.
True.
We had a rosemary bush in our front yard at our other house, and
It has to be homegrown.
Oh yeah, I would just pick the rosemary off and put it in.
Yeah. I thought you were going to ask what kind of steak you get.
What cut?
Yep. Well, not what cut, how you get your steak.
Oh, how do you? I mean, yeah, medium rare. I mean,
Medium rare, but if it's a good steakhouse and you ask for rare,
Yeah.
if they say cool rare or warm rare, you got to get warm rare.
Yeah.
That's the best way. If they don't ask that question, though, Dalton Clodfelter, he's like, this is the standard. If you ask for rare and they don't say warmer or cool
You know
rare,
you're in a
yeah,
shitty
you got to
steakhouse.
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when they ask, go for the
you know
rare.
what I've been doing a lot? I've been doing, the meat that they put in a Philly cheesesteak?
Yeah.
So at our local grocery store, they have shaved ribeye.
Ooh.
So I've been doing that with my eggs a lot in the morning. I have the
Yummers.
shaved ribeye with eggs. And then I do, my wife made this great sprouted whole wheat bread. She made it from scratch. Fantastic thick. You throw it in the toaster and I put a little bit of raspberry jam on it. It's fantastic. It's a great breakfast.
Making like bread or like what is it? What do they have at why am I blanking on this word? The caffeine's getting to my brain. What do they have at like Texas Roadhouse?
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, Devin Salas, bang over Monster. Get Stephen Molyneux on the show.
No. Bang over Monster. That is like that's the worst take I've probably ever heard. Bang is the worst energy drink.
Well, wait, what were you saying about Texas Roadhouse? Because someone does have a question for you, but do they have like a garlic bread or something like that?
Well, like what's the bread called? They just like put out on the plates.
Like bread?
No, it's not like pieces of bread. It's like
A loaf?
no, it's not a loaf either. Why am I blanking on this word?
Someone help
They
us in
put
the
salt
comments.
and butter on it. Not biscuits. Not croutons either. It's like the loaves of bread.
What are you
They're
talking
pillowy.
about? Oh, are you talking like rolls, like dinner
Yeah,
rolls?
like rolls.
Yeah, dinner rolls.
Thank you.
Oh,
I
jeez.
just was failing that. That word was totally gone.
Oh my God.
Dude, homemade rolls.
Homemade
That's
rolls
the
are the
best thing
best.
ever.
Yeah.
With the flaky salt on top.
We have the
butter.
flaky salt, the finishing salt.
So good.
Here comes a question from Oliver Smith. Let's see, $5. Thank you. Is that Australian $5? Has Kai inspired his new look from American History X or Unreformed Danny Vineyard?
I haven't seen either of those, but I'm familiar with American History X. No, naughty. This is literally just the missionary haircut.
Remember the meme that I sent you that we talked about?
I think so.
The Chad guy not liking.
Oh yeah.
Not liking
like
Patrick Bateman. Yeah, I thought that was a good one. Let's see if there are any other. Okay. Here we go from Devin. I believe he's asking you a lot about your Monster and Bang. He says 300 milligrams of caffeine over 200 milligrams of caffeine.
So part of it is like.
Oh, is that because Bang has more caffeine?
It might, but if it has more caffeine and it's not the right kind of caffeine, here's the thing: you want a caffeine that releases well, that's available to the body, and that you're actually going to get a drive out of, and you're not going to get a severe crash. Don't get me wrong, like there's some pretty good Bang flavors, but the advertising, I mean, they get these like practically girls dressed up like strippers. They had them at CPAC. That was a big controversy.
Okay.
These Bang girls like throwing out T-shirts and whatnot.
Really?
They're dressed like in these really like thin and tight crop tops. This is not a good look at all. And then just the marketing for it is really scummy. And the ingredients in it are nothing special either. Even if there's more caffeine, it's probably not a good blend. It's probably not available to the body. It's not being absorbed.
Tons of sugar.
Yeah, tons of sugar. It's the least healthy. And they say they have super creatine. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't tell you on the can how much creatine is in there.
Really?
So it's probably not even close to an efficacious dose or like a daily dose of creatine, which is 5 grams. Not only that, but it's probably just a proprietary blend that they call super creatine.
If you had one company that could sponsor you, would it be the Monster?
It would probably be Monster or Gorilla Mode. Gorilla Mode would be sweet.
Listen,
Hey.
it's gone already.
I finished it. I'm a
Wow.
fiend.
Listen, guys. Listen, Monster. If anyone's out there, Kai Clips, he loves your stuff. Give him a sponsorship. Send him how many boxes could you live off of for?
Could I live off
of a month?
Of a month?
A month's supply. 3 boxes of 12 cans.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah,
24.
36. Oh, this
3 boxes
for
of
a month?
36. Yeah.
I could do 2 boxes.
You do 2 a day of these or just 1?
No, 1 max.
Jeez.
Yeah,
okay.
1 max. As you stack this with the pre-workout. The reason I like these though as pre-workout, because they're not really a pre-workout. All they are is an energy drink. But they are pretty high in sodium because they don't have any, like, what is this? The Zero Ultra has 0 calories, 0 sugar, et cetera,
okay.
et cetera. But it's got 370 milligrams of sodium.
But I wonder what the replacement sugar is. Is it stevia?
Oh, it's probably some
probably
garbage.
horrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, New Marquez, I have a problem with you. An 18-year-old Mormon is the last person I'd spend time listening to. Gotta go later. Unsub.
Well, guess what? I'm 19, doofus. Owned.
Lyndon Hurls, whisking an... Oh, wait. Australia. If you know, I'll tell you what. If you whisk an egg into my coffee, plus butter cream has my latest breakthrough. That's not a good Australian accent, right?
That's not bad.
No, whisking an egg...
into coffee.
Whisking an egg into coffee.
That's not bad.
No.
I think so.
If I whisk an egg into coffee... and I put butter... I can't do... Australian is hard. Gina can do it.
I can't get my brain around whisking an egg into coffee, though.
Wow. No. You don't whisk it in the coffee. You probably whisk the egg and then put it into the coffee.
Well, either way. Egg and coffee?
Well, people do butter. Yeah, I haven't heard of egg.
I don't drink coffee, so I couldn't tell you, but...
I've never done it.
I'll take your word for it. Sounds delicious.
Devin, this is the only appropriate response to New Marquez. You are changing the world, buddy. Thank you so much. Because New Marquez says, I'm leaving. I'm not watching Kai.
It's
and
a
then
boycott.
Devin says, you're changing the world. I love that. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Zachary Hellig with the Harambe, loving the gym talk, super based. Let's, I wonder if we saw Sammy from the men's group. We were talking about deadlifts, and you were actually critiquing a lot of, not a lot, but you were critiquing some form. So talk a little bit about that and what you did and how you contributed to the men's group.
Yeah, so the men's group, which is something you should absolutely join for how much?
$10 a month.
$10 a month. You can do that. You can afford that. That's less than like a McDonald's.
How many monsters is it?
Just over
2.5 maybe?
Yeah, it's like 3.25.
Oh, really?
Yep, 3.25 monsters.
Oh, are they like $285?
$2.99.
Okay, not terrible. Okay.
Well, that's Brandon for you.
Yeah.
The inflation.
Okay, so 2.5, almost 3 monsters.
Yes.
Can get you a monthly membership into the men's club. But yeah,
the men's club was awesome. You know, we chatted with some fantastic fellas today. One of them just had some questions about a squat and deadlift, so he sent in some videos, giving him a live feedback, coaching him through. One of the issues that he had that I have, that a lot of lifters have, whether they're novice or intermediate or even experts, is kind of getting the timing right on a deadlift, where your hamstrings are engaging at the proper time and you're not standing all the way up and then completing the second half of the movement as just a hip hinge, right? Which is what a lot of people will do. They'll extend their legs all the way and then they'll just carry the rest of their weight with their lumbar spine by just doing an
the monster is showing. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, dude, I'm talking so fast. I'm talking so fast. Oh, boy. I should not have done this.
This is what, okay, before we get to this is from Devin. Never saw a bank commercial, Daddy. Destiny likes boys.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's pretty sexually promiscuous.
Neil D, why are you subscribed to this? That's a good question. Why are you? I hope you're still subscribed to this. I hope we can prove you wrong by the end of it.
I gotta calm down. I need to change my temperament.
Listen, okay, you were talking really fast. Let's bring you back down to earth. Okay, Mendy Matoshi, what's Kai's max bench?
As of yesterday, 250. And I weigh 170 right now.
So that's good.
I think so.
I saw a reel on Instagram that was saying if you can bench your own body weight, you're in like the top 5% of people in the world.
Yeah,
which is pretty incredible.
It's nuts.
I guess can 95% of people not lift their own body weight?
I would be surprised by that. I think a lot of them haven't tried, but I mean, maybe it wouldn't surprise me. Like I've started training up a lot of people at the gym, and when they start, they're not benching their body weight. But what people don't realize is that once you start, you'll bench your body weight pretty quick. Unless you're coming from zero musculature on your frame, you will be able to bench your body weight and exceed that in a matter of months, just because your newbie gains kick in so fast and you develop so much.
Interesting. Do you start with just the bar? Like when you're first starting to bench, you start with just the bar. Let's say someone weighs 150. Start them off with the bar. Or do they do, I don't know, like 75 pounds or something like that?
It really depends on the person and like the strength they have. Like I did a lot of accessory stuff for my chest before I started doing like a Smith machine bench when I was at Planet Fitness. The purgatory, that is Planet Fitness. And so when I started on the Smith machine, I was at least benching like 135 at least. But
what did you weigh at the time?
I was 132, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Smith machine's different than just a free barbell bench.
Right.
There are some people that just have really underdeveloped muscles who do start with just the bar, and that's a comfortable working weight for them. But if somebody is like decently fit, they can walk in and bench like 100 pounds on their first day. That's not
really?
crazy. The one thing is, when you start barbell benching, stability is a big thing. So unless you've trained your stabilizer muscles, you're really going to wobble a lot. And so that's the big issue that people run into.
So the bar helps.
The bar does not actually.
No, okay, so barbells are a little bit easier than
Well, the barbell's the straight one. Dumbbells.
Dumbbells.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, so were you talking about dumbbells just now?
No.
Okay, forget what I said. Forget what I said.
So the barbell is where they're going to have,
barbell.
they're going to struggle with like keeping it balanced.
Right, okay.
Dumbbells, on the other hand, are going to work those stabilizer muscles a little bit better, and that translates to increasing the stability of your barbell bench.
So one can start with dumbbells first.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
and
nice.
they should.
Here's Riley Gerald wants to know, why do some Mormons claim they can't drink caffeine?
That's a good question. It's mostly a misunderstanding of the rationale behind the Word of Wisdom's prohibition on hot drinks, which have been very clearly defined to be coffee and tea. Most people assume that the reason for the prohibition of coffee and tea is because of the caffeine content and because caffeine is an addictive substance. The church has never claim that position as far as I'm aware. It's currently not the position of the church, and the church like owns stock in Coca-Cola and other soft drink companies.
Really?
So it'd be kind of weird if they were like doing that and then saying that caffeine is what's being prohibited. So some Mormons claim that, usually as an inference upon the Word of Wisdom being a little bit unclear there. But no, that's never been a church position.
As a member of the LDS Church, please talk about the general view of the cross. I noticed you wear one. That's why I asked.
That is actually another great question. So yeah, a lot of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints ask why I wear the cross. I've been donning it way more recently. I love the sign of the cross as like a sign of Christianity. And I get a lot of Catholics asking why I wear the cross. And so for me, this has kind of become a way of showing and reminding people that Mormons are in fact Christian. And it's also a way of engaging and starting that conversation with Catholics about what our similarities are in our belief that Christ is the Savior who atoned for the sins of all mankind. For those wondering why the LDS Church does not wear crosses frequently, a big part of it is because we expand the atonement to not just dying on the cross, but also the suffering in the Garden of Gethsemane for the sins of all mankind. The atonement on the cross is obviously like that ultimate kind of finishing moment, but we focus more on the resurrected Christ than the crucified Christ.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know Catholics we have the stations of the cross throughout the church, where it shows the 12 different stations where Jesus is charged, he's convicted, he bears the cross, falls once, Mary Magdalene comes up to him, falls twice, gets up, finally crucified. So that's very interesting, because I don't really see any Mormons, or is there much iconography of Jesus on the cross or actual crosses in the in the wards?
No, not really. Most of the art that we see is post resurrection, right?
Okay.
So him like showing the palms, and the spear in the side. Him like walking from the tomb, seeing Mary Magdalene. That's what most of the art that we have in our churches and wards is.
Oh, Lilith. That's what Mary Magdalene used to go by.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm watching The Chosen, so who knows?
I don't think that's true. My understanding of Lilith is that this is a Talmudic Jewish piece of canon.
Oh, really?
Which is
interesting. Okay.
Okay, this is a good topic, actually. So in Talmudic tradition, there were rabbis who believed that Adam had a first wife, Lilith, not Eve.
Okay.
And Lilith was that, because in Genesis it describes man being formed out of clay. And then also there's like another description which can be interpreted as two creations. And so the Talmudic Jewish non-Christian belief is that Lilith was Adam's first wife, and that Lilith was sexually dominant. And because of that, Adam didn't like her and wanted God to give him a new wife that was more submissive.
And then Eve came along, basically?
And then Eve came along.
Oh, really?
So very interesting how there's like this kind of sexual tension and some subversive sexual elements in the story of Adam and Eve within the Talmudic Jewish canon. That's my understanding of it, at least. But yeah, that's not Christian belief whatsoever.
Have you watched any of The Chosen?
I've not.
episode 2 or episode 1, I think, is you meet Mary Magdalene, but she's called Lilith at the time, and she's possessed by a demonic possession. And I believe the Pharisees, there's a head Pharisee, and he tries to exorcise her, but it doesn't work until she meets Jesus. And just by meeting him, she's kind of broken from that possession.
Yeah.
But then the Pharisee is in town again, or no, someone else who, I don't know how the Pharisees worked, but someone under the head priest or the head rabbi sees this Lilith person walking around and, portraying herself as Mary, just unpossessed. And he's like, I saw the woman that you tried to exorcise. She's fine. And he's like, did I perform a miracle? This rabbi was saying, no, I couldn't have. So he goes over there and he says, Lilith? And she says, no, I don't go by that. My name's Mary. So that's what I'm getting from The Chosen. I'm only 3 episodes in, but it's interesting. It's kind of corny. The acting's a little weird, but it's very interesting for someone who doesn't know anything about the Bible or these stories. It's kind of a good introductory to it. Let's get into, someone else sent us something. Devin Selness. Mike, how do I know Gavin McGinnis again? I knew Gavin. I think I reached out to him. I was on tour and I saw a YouTube clip of him from his Vice days, or maybe post Vice days, when he started his own advertising company called Rooster. I saw a video. I think it was like how to fight a baby or something that was really funny.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole with his videos, and I reached out to him just to say hi and introduce myself. Struck up somewhat of like an email relationship, and then I did pictures for him a couple of different times, and he actually inspired me to do the book that I was working on, profiling people on the right after the 2016 election. And we're still friends, and probably get him on the show soon.
Sweet.
Again, yeah. Oh, and just for people who are wondering, we do have a date set for the religious panel. It's going to be called God is Great, the I'm Doing Great Theological Panel. We have the date booked. We have the venue booked. So we're going to announce that in the coming weeks, and then we will release tickets probably 6 weeks before the actual date. So keep your eyes posted to our Instagram. We have some very, very interesting people who will be on the panel. I don't think anyone's going to be let down as far as the representatives of each denomination. So far, everybody knows that Jay Dyer is down. So Jay Dyer will be representing the Orthodoxy, which is really, really great. And Kai knows who will be representing the Catholics, so he's going to keep his lip seals. But do you think it's a good pick for the Catholics?
Very good pick.
Okay, good.
Everybody's going to be adequately represented. I will not be there, unfortunately.
No.
I have a mission date conflicting, and also it's like maybe talking about theology against like Jay Dyer, that's going to have to be post-mission.
Right. No, I know. We had someone DM our Instagram saying, I really don't want, I told you this in the car, but for our viewers, he was saying, listen, I really don't want to tell you how to do things, but make sure you have someone on the level of Jay or a little bit higher, because if not, it's going to go very badly for everybody else. And I was like, no, don't worry. We have people who really know their stuff, and it's really good. I'm really excited for it because it's going to be a great learning experience. For me, I know that I've been like militantly Catholic in the 3 weeks that I've gotten back into the faith. So I've been very kind of aggressive with the veneration of Mary, and describing, or not describing, but at least explaining the reason why I pray to saints, or pray for their intercession. At least not pray to saints.
I was gonna say that's quick controversy.
I'm slipping up in my head. And we talked about it. It's just the standards for what is biblical, what isn't. Can church decide what people can do, or is it strictly biblical on the sola scriptura, Bible only? So it'll be interesting. And if you guys want, please DM our Instagram with any questions you'd like to get from either a Catholic theologian, an Orthodox, a Protestant, just so that we can forward some of those questions and get a really good question base for that panel. It's going to be 3 hours long. It's going to be awesome. And the venue is going to be great, and it's going to be a good chance to, meet some fans and meet some people who share devotion to their faiths, or who are just interested.
You guys doing a Q&A?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm sure I'm sure the first hour and a half is going to be, not debate, but conversation. And then the last hour and a half is obviously going to be Q&A. We don't want to go over. I know we would definitely go over, but
which means every single one of you guys who get into those comment wars, now's your time. Come to the event, and you can do your IRL commentary argumentation against all these random people who are watching a show. You can have your chance to do that live.
Here we go from Devin again. Devin, we appreciate all the questions. Which right-leaning people do you think are feds? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Who can we think of? The only people who I would think would be feds, I mean, Jack Posobiec gets thrown around a lot. Like, people think he's a fed, formal naval intelligence.
Yep.
I mean, kind of. You have
friends with Dick Spencer.
Who's the other dude? Malcolm Nance, who's always on Bill Maher. He was a formal naval intelligence person who's now currently like persona non grata within the intelligence community. But he's, a shill who calls himself a Republican, but, still kind of like a war-hawking shill.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Jack. I did photograph him for that book that I was doing. But it just seems like a lot of people who don't get silenced or who don't get taken off, where people who have been taken off a platform for saying similar things might appear to be feds.
Yeah.
Like that would be the accusation. Oh, they're a fed. How come they haven't lost their accounts? How come they haven't, been put on no-fly lists and stuff like that? So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know anyone off the top of my head, though.
I would say Richard Spencer, kind of obvious.
Yeah. Is he on the right, though?
Kind of. He's still in the like white nationalist, like eugenics, abortion supporting stuff. So he's more like, I don't know what you would call him other than like a Wignat, right? But he's also like a Ukraine supporter because his Russian wife divorced him. And yeah, so he's a whole handful. But Patriot Front, I mean, the leader of Patriot Front, or at least one of them, Enrique Tarrio or Ontario, whatever.
Oh,
his name is.
yeah.
He is like a known federal informant. The Proud Boys, the 3%ers, there's a lot of people within the organization that we can just assume are federal informants.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the Governor Gretchen Whitmer plot, right? Half the guys ended up being federal informants. The guys who were supplying the weapons and making the plans, basically, honeypotting a lot of generally innocent people into doing things that they wouldn't otherwise do, right?
Yeah, who's the guy that I remember Baked Alaska had him on the live stream telling them to go into the Capitol.
Ray Epps.
And nothing has happened to this guy, right?
Yeah.
There's been no investigation to who this guy is. Very, very interesting.
Sussy wussy.
J.A., listen, we can see you. We notice you. We love you. Okay, J.A.? Of course we can see you. Let's see. There was something I wanted to put on here. One of the comments. Ooh, Sede Vacantis Catholic. I'm kind of leaning that way.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm going to explain it poorly. Sede Vacantis or Sede Vacanta means in Latin, the seat is open, the chair is open.
Oh.
So it's basically saying that a lot of these popes within the last, I think, pretty much everyone after Pope Pius X is an illegitimate pope, especially after Vatican II. They've been anti-popes. So I think that's what the Sede Vacantis believe. And now, a lot of Catholics who, once I return to the faith, are saying, please don't be a Sede Vacantis. Please don't be a Sede Vacantis. Like, the papacy, the Vatican, we must trust the leaders of the church. I have a very big problem doing that, especially when the leaders of the church have very commie social opinions I don't tend to agree with.
Well, I think...
So the question is can one be not necessarily loyal, but respect the theology from the Pope, especially on doctrine, when he believes in climate change alarmism, having some LGBTQ sympathies, or even having sympathies with people who may slightly agree with abortion? I don't think I can't take that on. And I don't know if I am studied enough to say, well, he's the anti-Pope. I don't believe he's the Pope, because I don't know enough of the history to kind of make that assessment.
I think there's a few tough things. The big one is that, journalists are combing through every single thing this guy's ever said. This guy talks all the time, leaders of any church, right? So they'll look at everything that the prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says. They'll look at everything that the Pope says. They'll look at anything that the leader of a large church, especially a historical one, is going to say, and they'll pick out the parts that they really like, and then they'll try to frame the Pope as being maybe more liberal than he even is. To be fair, he has said some liberal things, absolutely. So has the prophet. But there's also the context of this being something that applies to the entirety of the church, or something that may be recommended by the Pope as an individual.
Right.
And so there's also a difference in like the use of authority and what kind of prescription is being made, whether it's like a commandment or whether this is like more of an opinion.
This is why the religious panel is going to happen. So, so we can hear from my Catholic brother up there. Listen, Devin Sellers, I did pics for Jack. I think he's a Fed. I did pics before I had that thought. So I did those photos in 2017, and it wasn't until like 2019, 2020 when a lot of that talk. I'm only assuming he is but that he could be, because so many people have pointed that out.
Yeah,
so
I heard that
I don't know if he is or if he isn't. I'm not charging him with that accusation. Matthew Williamson, would you guys mind doing a little debate on tattoos?
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it from a religious perspective. I know we're probably not supposed to have tattoos. At the time, you guys have to remember, I wasn't a practicing Catholic when I was getting tattoos. So it is, I guess, a little hypocritical that now that I am, I probably won't get any new tattoos.
That's just like a base take. You just gave the correct take. It's like, hey, we probably shouldn't get tattoos as Christians. I mean, that's a very hotly contested subject, especially among Protestants. But I think the Catholic ruling is that no-go for tattoos. For the LDS Church, it's no-go on tattoos. We believe that you should only get, only women should pierce their ears, and it should only be one piercing on each lobe.
Now, is that scripture related? So can we point to a verse, let's say?
The frequent one is that our bodies are temples and that they shouldn't be defiled.
Right.
You can argue it secularly, though, too. Like, I argue a lot that tattoos are a sign of a few things: low impulse control, high time preference, and just
a little bit of narcissism, probably.
Probably a little bit of narcissism, too, yeah. And also a poor ability to rationalize consequence.
Here's the thing, too. I also heard, I can't remember who I heard this from, but whoever said it said tattoos are fine as long as they are not of like demonic imagery, which would make sense. If someone has
I think that's just worse.
Pentagram tattoos on him, you're probably saying, he doesn't care anyway. He's representative of the devil.
But then it's like, I mean, drawing a pentagram on yourself probably also isn't
right. Exactly. But if I had iconography of Saint Michael the Archangel across my back, taking up my whole back, it would be kind of cool.
It'd be cool,
but I mean, Jews have that belief. You defile your body, especially with any sort of tattoo or markings, then you're not going to heaven.
Yeah, I don't buy
rot
that.
On the ground. I mean, I think I'd go to. Well, I mean, I hope I would get into heaven if I had Saint Michael on my back, but I don't know if I would put him on there.
I think that the tattoo is not going to compromise your salvation. And I think that if we're talking about the Jewish perspective on it, I think denying Christ as the Messiah is probably more of a damning thing.
Right, exactly.
Because none come to the Father but through the Son. The same that hath not the Son hath not the Father also. The Scripture is very clear on that.
Ooh, well, I have another question in my head, but Dallas Cox, why do you think Elijah got fired from the Blaze? I'll answer this. I don't really know, and I don't want to get into gossip. That's things that women do, and I don't want to be on some show talking about why some guy got fired. That's really not my style. No. Here's the question, though. So one of the reels that I put onto Instagram was, Protestants going off about the veneration of Mary. Why do you venerate Mary? And I said, because I think it's respectful. She's the mother of God. We should venerate Mary. And Gina has walked into the room. She's all ready to go. We're about to talk about venerating some Mary. Hey, Gina, look at the screen, because look what happens now. Oh, she's kissing her husband. What a good wife. Here we go. Look at this now. Boom, we can put up comments on the screen.
No.
The answer was, I'm not a woman and I don't do gossip.
Oh, but you know who loves to gossip?
Who does?
John Doyle.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, if John was on the show, it'd be different.
He's the.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're
so
all
is her
gossips.
mic unmuted now? Let's unmute Gina's mic. Now you're on.
How you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
How
Good
was
to
your
see
flight
you.
in?
It was wonderful.
Good.
It was so good. I slept like a baby. I had such a good time.
Good.
I dressed up as people should do flying.
Yes, look at that shirt. Do you guys
Beautiful,
see the shirt?
beautiful shirt.
Look at
Listen,
that.
you got to go to I'mDoingMerch.com. Locals 10 at checkout for 10% off.
So comfortable.
Isn't it?
We doing it now or later?
We can do it now. We can talk and cut cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the great thing about that shirt is actually Kai and I talked about it for 20 minutes. He's like, what is this? This is really nice quality. Where'd you get it? And
It's
so
like
yeah,
the
that's what we're doing.
American Psycho scene with like the cards.
Oh, here you go, Gina. AOC's Juicy Booty says, Gina looks smoking as always. Husband is a lucky dude. Full respect, no simp.
No, it's the filter. Don't worry.
No, Gina, you look great as always.
Oh, thank
Please
you
stop.
very much.
Don't
I
ever talk
appreciate it.
yourself
That's
down.
very kind. Thank you.
So we were talking about the veneration of Mary and stuff like
Yes.
that, and people got really upset. Don't do it. She doesn't know. You can't pray to her. Anyway, now, what is the Mormon opinion on salvation? Is it through faith alone, or is it through works as well? I would think works plays a big part because you guys have your missions.
Well, the missions aren't required for salvation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a frequently kind of misunderstood thing. It's a very culturally normative thing, and any man who is able to and is willing and able to serve should do so, because that's what we're called to do. We're called to be missionaries and to proselytize and to bring people to Christ. But regarding salvation, I talk about that all the time, frequently, right, with Protestants who believe that it's faith alone, right, and the works mean nothing. I obviously, and this is, of course, a simplification. There's a larger theological debate, but I believe that faith without works is dead. And the argument will eventually
Oh, so you take James in. You take James into consideration,
it will
okay.
always devolve into, well, yeah, but like good works are the product of true faith. And it's like, so what you're saying is that the works are a part of it. It's like, well, yes, but it's really just the faith. And it's like, yeah, but if the faith. So it always devolves into that. But
This
we
is
believe,
another question for the panel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
We believe though that it is a combination of faith and works, right? So
Okay.
that if you have good works and you're living like a generally good life, and you may have not heard about the gospel in your lifetime, we don't think you're going to go to hell. But we
Right.
do believe that you do have to accept Christ in that state of purgatory in order to get into heaven. So
Hypothetical situation.
Yep.
Murder on death row. Murdered and raped 20 kids, let's say. In his last year of life, he finds Christ. He comes to Christ. He's baptized. Faith alone doesn't really get the chance to do any of these works other than, let's say, dutiful prayer, any of that stuff, because he has a year left. Does this man, in your opinion, find salvation?
I think if the repentance is true and real, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, interesting. What do you think, Gina?
So I missed that. Guy on death row,
Yeah.
murdered 20 kids.
Murdered and raped 20 kids. In his last year before he gets the death penalty, before he is put down, he finds Christ, comes to Christ, and he's in prison. He can't do really much charity work. He can't bring others to Christ. Does he find salvation? Do you think?
I don't know. It's those questions are always tough because at the end of the day, only God knows your
Yeah.
heart. Only God knows your heart. I mean, I don't think that
What is this? An apple?
pear. I know
Okay, pear. Okay.
he hates fruit and dessert.
I don't
This
like
is
fruit and
yummers.
cakes. Okay,
like
so we're
it?
live.
love it.
We're live
Okay, great.
tasting this cake. We've never
love
had
this.
it before.
Yeah, this is a blackberry pear crumble, and it's got sour cream in it. That's why it's got that little
That's
tangy, that kind of tangy taste.
try the crumble part of it.
But yeah, I don't know if I've said this before. I don't know if this is. I don't think anyone is totally past redemption. You know,
Okay.
I don't think so. And again, the only person, not person, the
But
only
can
one
that,
who
can
can
that
judge.
guy exist in a heaven where the kids he murdered are?
Well, we happen to believe in
Oh.
kingdoms of heaven.
Okay.
So it's not just this uniform, everybody's in this one place. There are levels to
Oh,
the
that's
glory of
right. I
heaven.
wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Please
wanna-
explain.
Okay, yes.
No.
Good. This is good.
Sorry, this is so yummers.
I'm so glad you like it.
Okay, so there's a few verses that describe this. The big one, I believe, is in Corinthians, where Paul says basically, in my father's, or Christ says, in my father's estate there are many mansions, right? So this is a reference to the kingdoms of glory in heaven. And I think the Catholic belief, there's a different kind of perspective of this, but they also kind of do believe that there are these different aspects to heaven. And obviously, glory of angels is different as well. So there's certainly this hierarchy that exists in heaven.
Yeah.
But we believe...
the nine thing of angels or something like that.
Yeah, and so we believe that there is a celestial, being the glory that's comparable to the sun, the terrestrial and the telestial kingdoms. The telestial is the least, the terrestrial is the middle, and the celestial is the greatest. And the celestial is rewarded to those who, do good work throughout their lives.
Saints
have
saints
faith.
for the most part. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also they practice or have done the saving ordinances. So we're talking baptism. For us, this is a particular one. Marriage in the temple is one of the ordinances that'll get you into the celestial kingdom.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's kind of this idea of the different kingdoms of heaven. And we ultimately believe, like after people suffer in hell for 1,000 years, they'll inherit the telestial kingdom. Let me make sure that's right. We always have this acronym C-Ter-Tol for the beginnings of the words. Celestial, terrestrial, telestial. Yeah, so they inherit eventually the telestial kingdom. So
Someone who's been in hell
suffering
for 1,000 years.
Yes, which I believe is the Catholic position too, that the suffering in hell is not infinite. It's a finite suffering, but it spans, of course, a very long time. And the suffering is compared to the suffering of Christ in Gethsemane. So it's no easy toll to pay.
No.
We got a question from the collaboration that will happen this Saturday with the KGB show. Let's see. Question for Kai. When you come into Texas to hang out with the Three-Letter Boys before your mission?
That's a good question. You guys should pay for my flight.
Act in kind.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of traveling. I think early in October. That might actually work because I've got a lot of speeches for the end of October, which will be fun. And then my availability date for the mission is set to November 1st. That's the earliest I'll go. It could be that I go in like January.
Where are you going?
Not sure yet.
Okay.
I should find out in like the next week and a half. So
Oh.
I will keep everybody posted about that.
Nice.
I made the mistake of telling people that I was working on my papers. And so my inboxes, and my mom made the mistake of telling her friends. So she's just been pestered with, does your son know where he's going on his mission yet?
Yeah.
It's like this really big thing. So I promise I'll let you know. If you haven't heard, it's because I haven't told anybody and because I don't know myself.
How old are you guys when you usually go on your mission? Is there an average age?
It used to be 19, but now men can serve once they're 18, and women can serve once they're 19. And women typically serve for a year and 6 months instead of the 2 years that men do.
Why is that?
Oh, sorry.
Probably just because men are more built to handle the task of missionary work for a longer extent of time. That's my assumption of it.
Because men.
Yeah, real.
Okay.
We're built different, literally, biologically.
I am triggered a little bit at this. Listen, Tim's a great follower of the show. I'm not comfortable calling a mortal, sin-cursed, God-created person the mother of God. It just seems blasphemous to me. Did Mary not birth Jesus Christ? Because if Mary did, she is the mother of God. And you don't have to call her the mother of God. I will.
Well, and that's the other thing. Is like the LDS perspective is not that Mary was sinless, but we do affirm that she was like the mother of God. She was Christ's mother, and Christ.
Well, it would
was
only
God on
assume
earth.
if she is a human person, she cannot be sinless, right? Like,
Yeah.
is
Well,
that
but-
ever?
Well, that's the thing, isn't
but
it?
do Catholics believe that she's
that
sinless?
Mary's sinless? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Really? I
Yeah.
never. I don't
This
think.
is like one of the biggest.
I don't ever really
discussions.
remember. Well, I know that Immaculate Conception. I know all that, but I didn't really like. Hold on, because
Yeah.
now I almost have. I might have to look it up on my phone.
I'm
because
actually curious. I want to hear more about the Catholic.
I don't want to bring it
take
up on the computer because if I do, then they see
It'll
it.
show up. Purgatory. I don't know about the Catholic take on purgatory. I mean,
Listen, I have to listen. The last time I learned anything about this was maybe freshman year of
We'll
college,
ask-
so I have to get back
what's
to it.
the priest's name is going to be on the panel? I always
Not a
forget.
priest.
Not a priest.
Do you want me to say? Should we announce it here on the show,
Oh.
or should we save the announcement later?
Oh, we can save it. You
Okay.
can just message it to me later.
He knows who it is.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already forgotten, but I know some of the details.
Okay.
I could deduce who it was, knowing
Yeah,
some of the things
he actually
about
did
them.
guess a little bit.
Okay.
He
So
got part of it right.
Yep.
so Mormons don't believe in purgatory.
We do.
You do.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's typically kind of referred to, there's a lot of interchangeable terms. We use spirit prison and spirit paradise. Spirit prison is basically those people who, live good lives and whatnot and are just kind of in that limbo purgatory phase until the millennium. And then ultimately, like the perfection of all people and Christ coming back to the earth for the millennium. And then spirit prison is this kind of purgatory for those who did not get baptized during their lifetime. And that's why we do the work of baptism for the dead, is so that those people have a chance to accept or reject the baptism. And obviously, the baptism has to occur. It's a saving ordinance. You need it to enter the kingdom of heaven. And it's in that stage of purgatory or in spirit prison where those people who weren't baptized are baptized in behalf of, or we baptize in behalf of them, and then they have the chance to accept or reject the baptism.
Okay.
If they reject it, you can't get into heaven.
I see.
Because you have to accept Christ. and you have to be cleansed of your sins. So
Right.
that's kind of
so Catholics do believe she is sinless, but it's based on one phrase in his when they say, so this says in Luke, it says 128, it says, "Greetings, O favored one, the Lord is with you." So they say this one being favored, full of grace. They're saying that she was born sinless and lived sinless throughout her life.
Okay. Right.
Something I'll look into. Something I'll look into. But I mean, hey, I love
That's
Mary though. I love Mary.
Yeah.
Mary's awesome.
Mary's awesome.
Yeah.
How could you hate Mary?
I know. Can't hate Mary.
Yeah.
Well, J.A. says, if you presuppose inherited guilt, then Mary must be sinless. J.A. type it, let's see, but we don't inherit guilt from the fall. We simply inherit the fallen nature.
Which
Both
I agree
orthos and Catholics affirm that Mary was sinless.
Yeah. The LDS
We just differ in
One of
how.
those two. Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Hail Mary, full of grace. Right.
The LDS perspective is actually that sin is not inherited, which is why like we don't think babies need to be baptized for, because they won't be punished for their fallen state.
Right.
They would be punished for their own sins and not for Adam's transgressions. That's one of the early articles of faith.
And isn't the age where you become responsible is 7 or 8?
Yep.
Okay.
For Catholics, it's the age of 7. But Catholics still baptize for infants because they believe the fallen nature also condemns somebody.
Well, communion's around the second grade usually, so that's probably
7,
like 7 or 8. Yeah.
I forget what they call it, the age of something. Catholics in the chat will be able to tell us. Yeah.
Is this a question to you, and do you know what this means? Does the quorum of the 12, 70, and Nelson get paid?
Oh, that's a good question. So the quorum
What is that? What is any of that?
Quorum of the 12 apostles
Okay.
are the 12 apostles. The President Nelson is the prophet, the president of the church. And then the quorum of the 70 is like the 70 disciples, right? Or like the 70 people under the 12 apostles who also kind of exist over the church, because it's a very tiered system. And it is the way that the church existed in its earliest form. That's another part of the LDS Articles of Faith, is that we believe in the same organization of the church that existed in the early church, namely prophets, seers, revelators, apostles, disciples, etc. And as far as them getting paid, I don't know. I don't think they have like a paycheck. I do think that like living expenses and whatnot are afforded. But most of the people who are there are already pretty like wealthy. Like if you look at the people in the 12 apostles, these are men who lived really good lives. President Nelson, I believe, was the first open heart surgeon or something like that. He performed like the first of some kind of surgery ever. So most of these people have led very successful, rich, and fulfilling lives. There were some who were like car salesmen. They come from all different walks of life, but most were, very righteous and quite successful. So they don't really need the paycheck.
Right.
Can we talk about something? Or
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, sorry.
They love it. They love it
too
when Mike
good.
chews on the microphone.
I didn't do
They
it on
love
purpose.
it.
ASMR.
Shouldn't have taken that bite. So I talked to you briefly about this in a text. I know I talked to you about it. But can we talk about the quote-unquote problem of young conservative men meeting young conservative women? Or the problem that I think it's a problem, but for different reasons than they think it's a problem. So I think it's a problem just because, and Gina, we've talked about this. You said a lot of women tend to become more conservative after they're engaged, after they get married, that the conservative man in that relationship tends to pull them towards that.
Or just the leadership of a man in general.
Right, exactly. So trying to find a young Christian conservative girl is tough because there aren't too many of them in the dating pool. They're probably snatched up pretty quickly. And the only place that you're really going to find that is church. I mean, we had mentioned go to a TPUSA event or something like that, and Kai was mentioned, he was like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no good.
So what do you think? I mean, I know you're not necessarily looking for a girlfriend and even like someone who's wife material right now, but
Says who?
well, you're not.
That's
no,
right.
looking for a girlfriend maybe, but who knows? But
Who's wife material?
do you think that it is maybe a problem of the person seeking, that maybe if they're having a lot of trouble finding someone, that it may be an inward problem? Or do you think that there is a legitimate statement in it's super tough, especially being a Christian male looking for a Christian woman now? Like, what do you think about that?
Oh, I think that there's two parts of it. The first is to address the second part first. Yeah, it's really tough. But that goes for everything. More people have fallen away from the faith and have fallen into sin because it's become more accessible. There are a very high number now, as a proportion to relative to how it used to be. There are a far higher number of women who are engaged in self-prostitution with things like OnlyFans, or even with things that are by most people seen as like more innocent, like just like, oh, some guy hit me up on Instagram and he wants like feet pictures and I obliged him to get money. There are way more circumstances where people can fall prone to these traps. And so it is tougher finding somebody who has prepared themselves and kept themselves pure for a future spouse. It's very tough to find people who make that commitment. But to address the first part of the question, you're ultimately going to attract that kind of person by the way that you live. True masculinity, in a divine sense, is going to attract a feminine counterpart. And you're not going to attract those people if you're not preparing and improving yourself in the first place. That Christ-like woman, wherever she may exist, however few of them exist, is not going to be attracted to a totally godless man, no matter what, right? If that woman has the priority set in her life, she'll be looking for somebody who has the same priorities and who's basically going to be that accountability and that future person who they can be married to and who is going to be united with them under God. And that is, like Gina, what you were saying, one of the important parts is that the husband and the wife both try to orient themselves towards Christ. And in a Christ-centered home, that's the natural conclusion, is that the man and the woman are both trying to unite under God and improve themselves and their relationships with God. So I think that men often have that complaint, but men themselves don't address it by saying, well, I ought to be better. I find a lot of the time some Christian conservative influencers and whatnot themselves have had many sexual partners and are promiscuous and then seek that being absent from their future spouse. I think in that case, you don't get first dibs to like the virgin trad wife if you haven't lived that way yourself. So I don't know. That's going to be very controversial, but it's only going to be controversial among the right-wing Christian men who have had sinful past. And I'm not saying you have to be clean of sin, but I am saying that, the effort should be made to prepare yourself for your future spouse and abstain from sin for them.
Right.
Because that's true commitment. Committing to somebody you don't even know yet proves your intent going into it.
Yeah, you can't be currently living in sin and then expect to find a partner who is clean. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But I feel bad for young conservative Christian men these days. I really do, because it is tough. It's you can't say that it's not tough for them, because young women today are rewarded for having promiscuous sex. They're rewarded for being fat. They're rewarded for having abortions. They're rewarded for showing their body on Instagram. They're rewarded for a lot of really inappropriate behavior in ways that young men are not. Yes, there's definitely some behavior that young men are also rewarded for in our society, but culturally, young women are really, they're encouraged to be promiscuous and they're encouraged to live trashy lives. And so that, of course, results in a lot more young women who are going down this path. And I feel bad for a lot of the young men out there.
Yeah, what I was saying though was I was kind of saying, you're eliminating a lot of people from the dating pool. And you can do that with like, high body count girls or like outwardly appearing leftist girls. Like you can easily do that. You can kind of, get rid of those and not want to talk to any of those. But when you're kind of eliminating everyone who is sort of not outwardly Christian, I feel like you're just getting rid of a lot of potential people that you can meet and get to know. And that might be a thing. Like, listen, when I met my wife, we both weren't practicing. If she had said something along the lines of, I'll never step back into a church again, ever. Like, I don't think that's ever part of my future. Then maybe I would think, okay, maybe it won't work between us, because maybe I might one day want to do that. And I think I even had thoughts of, I want to bring my kid up in the church. I want my kid to be baptized. If the wife and mother of my child is not into that, I don't think I can, be married to this person. But it's just, going around with the checklist. Like, what does she fit? She has to fit these two criterias: Christian, conservative.
Yeah.
I would almost eliminate conservative from that. Look for a Christian girl. Okay, it's obviously tough because, in order to be a true Christian, one would tend to lean heavily conservative. But as the husband, as the man in that relationship, you can draw her in. That's what I did. I red pill my wife.
Yeah.
Do you want to give Kai context about why we're asking this question, though?
No.
Not really. I mean, well, because a guy went off and basically said that the dating advice that I gave was pretty shit because it was just
Pretty crap.
Sorry, pretty crap. I don't want to, ruin those young ears.
Yes.
But yeah, it was just, and we answered the question, and all I said was like, hey, while you're dating, don't necessarily go through it with blinders on and a checklist. Meet as many people as you can meet or even talk to. But when you get serious about going on that first date, that's when you have to kind of like clamp down and tighten up that group. You know what I mean? So he was like, that's horrible dating advice. You met your wife on Tinder. And I said, listen, in none of that advice that I gave did I ever say meet your spouse or future spouse exclusively on Tinder. You meet them anywhere. You can meet on Tinder, Christian Mingle, J-Date, wherever you want to do it, at a bar, at a restaurant, at church, at the library. What I'm saying is kind of keep yourself open to the people that you can meet. Also, if you are this combative and defensive about because he was essentially trashing my relationship, which I really didn't appreciate.
Yeah, I don't think he trashed your relationship.
No, he definitely did.
No, he said this is what he said. He said that your dating advice was awful. That's what he said.
No,
he said
but
your
you
dating
didn't
advice
see,
was
you didn't see the
stupid.
back and forth between that. He was
Oh, did
essentially trashing my marriage after that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's what he was doing.
Gloves.
Okay, I
came
didn't see that.
Yeah, so I'm not going to entertain that stuff at all. But what I did say, I was like, listen, he did admit to being like 15, and he's going to be like, oh, you're still talking about me, dude? Like, we're having a show where we have a young Christian male on here. People are like, he's not Christian, he's Mormon, whatever. But we have a young guy here, so I figure I'd bring it up just so that you can maybe talk to this guy. And, the dude is 15 years younger than me, and I'm saying, listen, if you're this angry, if you're this defensive that you trash another man's marriage when he's trying to help you and trying to give advice, maybe it's an inward thing. Maybe you have to look at you. Maybe it's not that, you can't find a girl. Maybe no girl wants to talk to you. Maybe you got to work on yourself first. Because if you just go around looking for the type of woman that you want without becoming or at least wanting to be the type of man that you should be, there's a big problem there.
Yeah. And there's one of these important things that people seem to kind of misunderstand is that idea of like, I don't know. I hate to rail on this because I get a lot of crap, especially from the AF crowd about it. But like the whole like hating women for certain things is something that just has never made any sense to me, because we understand so much, or we claim to understand so much about women's nature and how they exist. And then we somehow become totally oblivious to how that affects the way that they interact with men. If we believe that women are impressionable and they're empathetic and that they will cling to their husbands if their husbands are being truly virtuous masculine men, then it should be totally reasonable to guide a wife into a church or into a political view, or better yet, she isn't concerned with the political view and that political aspect.
Right.
If you've asserted a boundary and you've said, well, this is what's important and this is kind of what goes, you should be able to also assert that as a boundary for your home and for that relationship. And men just totally forget about that. Or we talk all the time about the biological differences in like the brains and the chemistry of men and women. And then yet we demonize all the expressions of that in relationships. While men are, or while women are very loving and they're very empathetic and they understand and they want to nurture and they care for their spouses so much. Okay, so why are you upset that your wife wants to spend time with you? Why are you saying, my wife is nagging me and she's being so like, she's bothering me so much? It's like, dude, that is how they are. That is how women are. You 100%. Should not hate women for how they are.
Those are the drunk golf guys on the Saturdays where they have to get drunk on the golf course to escape their wives.
Yeah.
Some of them may have valid reasons to do so, but you just explained it. Yeah.
It's a different thing. It's like you can say, okay, this is a little annoying because it's not the way I'm wired, without saying that like, oh, I really hate how women are this way. The point of our views on relationships and the differences between sexes and the perfect unity between men and women in the bounds of marriage is because they're supposed to work in tandem and because they are different. And if we hate, the opposite sex for their differences and the way they express those, then we're never going to be happy. And so I got a message after I talked about that on my stream from a guy who's married, and he's like, taking your advice or like listening to you talk about not hating women for the way that they are, I started to look at like some of the things my wife does when she like nags me a little bit or like says, get off the video game. It's not because she hates me and it's not because she's trying to bother me. It's because she wants me to excel and to do something, and she doesn't want to see me stagnate. Right. Women are repulsed by stagnation. And they don't want a man who is going to do everything they ask. They may try it out, and weak men will often succumb to that. They'll say, oh, whatever you want, sweetie, whatever you want, honey. Women in relationships like that are miserable, and eventually it'll end in divorce.
Yes.
So if you can look at that relationship at the end of the day and just say, my wife's not doing this to bother me or because she hates me, but that's just how she is. This is an expression of a difference between femininity and masculinity. You're going to get yourself into far less just entanglements and these frustration fueled moments where you are like hating your partner for just how different they are from you. Because that's honestly what makes the relationship work. It is the differences.
Also, I'd like to say I didn't go out looking for a good Christian girl, Christian conservative girl, but I ended up with one.
I will say though, this is the last thing. I know I've been going on for a minute, but I do think that the same faith is very important for a relationship.
I think so too.
I wouldn't enter
Definitely.
into a relationship without the expectation that the girl would convert or that she was already my same faith.
Right.
And the Bible's pretty clear about that too. Do not be unequally yoked with non-believers. And it's not to say these people are awful. It's just to say that like this is your future. This is your life. In the LDS faith in particular, marriage is one of the most important things. It's an eternal thing. You're bound for time and all eternity. So you got to take that very seriously.
Right.
And if I don't have the opportunity to have a marriage in a temple uniting me and my spouse and my family forever because my spouse is not my, same faith, then I'm sacrificing an awful lot. And at the end of the day, it's just not worth it.
Speaking of marriage, one thing that a lot of conservatives say that really annoys me, and I wanted to hear your take on it, they say things like, well, the government should stay out of marriage. The government shouldn't be involved in marriage at all. And for me, we mentioned this briefly on a previous episode. Marriage is a public matter, and it should be a public matter because it's a very important pillar of a healthy society. So I think the government should absolutely be involved in marriage. So I wanted to hear your take on it.
Yeah. I mean, the government should exist to promote a moral and virtuous society, and it should make moral and virtuous decisions more accessible. And it should seek to remove the pressure and the advertising of negative things from the lives of people who are trying to do good. Because negative and these vices, these addictive vices, these negative pressures, they are totally addictive. And they are totally something that when advertised and pushed onto a populace will destroy them, or the populace will destroy themselves. And then the entire country degrades, the culture with it. So marriage is absolutely something that the state should have a role in. And the role of the state should be saying, well, here's the boundary of marriage. The boundary is one man, one woman. And also, we recognize that marriage is foundationally a religious institution. The state only exists to ensure that that religious institution is protected. The state didn't create marriage. It's simply there to protect and enshrine what marriage actually is. Because if it didn't do that, polygamy would be legal. This would be something that, people would come from Muslim countries and they'd marry multiple wives and they'd have this big problem, which I know sounds silly coming from a Mormon for a lot of the people in the audience. But if the standards of marriage are allowed to be swung by whatever the state decides, I think it's very dangerous. So the state should exist to ensure the definition of marriage does not change.
Why are so many conservatives afraid to say that? It annoys me. They're like, oh, just the government
it's authoritarian.
Shouldn't be. Yes, they don't like authority. Authority's not
Question
bad.
for Kai from Josh Burns. Ask him why the LDS Church forbids certain foods and drinks when Paul warns Christians that the mark of a heretic.
The 1 Timothy 4 verse 3. Chapter 4 verse 3. It's actually funny you mentioned that. I have it bookmarked in my gospel library right now, and I could read it out, but I've actually got it memorized because this is a verse that I quote all the time. What it talks about is forbidding the use or telling people to abstain from meats and other foods that are good for the belly.
You read that last time
I read that last time, yep.
Oh, when you talked about veganism.
Exactly. Veganism is something which is a sign of sacrilegion and Satan. And so that verse, which talks about people who would come and fracture from the church and prohibit the eating of meats and whatnot, are satanic. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does not prohibit the consumption of meats or anything like that, or dairy or whatnot. Absolutely not. We have a word of wisdom regarding tobacco and alcohol and other things, which other churches, very historical churches and who tie themselves to the early church like we do, also have similar perspectives on. So I think you're very poorly I don't want to say you're necessarily bad faith, but I think you're very poorly characterizing that verse, and you're incorrectly applying it to the teachings of the church. Oh, hey, what's up, Teeny Beanie? That's my editor, my very talented editor.
Oh.
New compilation out as of like 3 days ago, I think. It may be the best yet. The people are saying it's the best yet. So what's up, Teeny?
Hi, Teeny.
I'm not red pilled, so how can you red pill someone else?
Oh, I'm not red pilled?
No, I'm not, I think.
Oh.
Wait, who?
Because I said I red pilled my wife. I guess I'm not red pilled.
You're not red pilled?
I guess not.
I guess you're not
you-
red
I
pilled.
guess I'm not.
Maybe you're
Mike
black
says
pilled.
I'm not
Mike
red
said
pilled, so I
you're
guess
not
I'm
red
not red pilled.
You
Okay.
can't let these comments get to you, Mike.
He lets them get to
That's
him.
honestly one of the better parts of the show, though. That's what people are always like,
a
we
lot of
love
people
when
do
Mike
enjoy
gets
it.
super
Okay,
defensive
okay.
about the
Yeah,
comments.
he
So I
gets-
keep it up. I go home with a smile on my face.
True.
Every day from doing this show. People are like, oh, you're so fucking pissed off. Sorry. We're so pissed off. Didn't blaspheme, though. But I'm on the computer at home just with a smile on my face. Like, I'm not angry or anything like
You're
that.
like, this guy is so stupid.
No,
Just
but
like messaging.
honestly, I do want to help. I do want to help people. I just,
Yeah.
I feel personally, and it's not a narcissistic thing. I just feel like I'm a little older than said person who brought up the issues with me. So I figured, dude, I've been around the world. I've been with people who didn't have my values, and I am with someone who does hold my values. And I'm telling you from that point of view right now. Here's maybe words of advice. Take them or not, but you know, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people misunderstand when you type in all caps. It's not anger. It's just
It's amplifying the point.
enthusiasm.
And I'm usually laughing when I put all caps on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm kind of like Kermit at the
Chipper and
typewriter.
jovial. You and me,
That's how I
chipper
am,
and
dude.
jovial. That's what's up. It's the
Were you
only way to
were you
live.
smiling when you attacked me for not liking chewing?
Someone,
Yes. Oh, someone may have someone may have been like, Mike, stop chewing on the show.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was
defended you.
probably smiling though. 100%. I'm not when I am doing the show, I'm never in a bad mood. I'm never angry. I'm
They're gonna
usually
pull the clip and
Am
you're gonna
I
be
Gina?
yelling.
Am
You're
I?
never angry. You're
No.
never in a bad mood.
No, I don't think so,
No, I
no.
think people honestly just misunderstand you.
Lyndon's been asking questions. Has Lyndon been asking questions, or does the avatar look the same? Anyway,
no
what are
idea.
your thoughts on Hungary's models for encouraging families? Oh, giving tax exemption to mothers of 4+ kids.
They had like free minivans.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
I
don't
did not
mind
know
that.
this.
Oh yeah.
Viktor Orban did a fantastic job. There were tax exemptions. There were you ultimately started getting like a cash sum as well that was paid to you for each kid. There was like a dividend for it, and then they gave like minivans to families, or they gave like a big write-off on minivans.
What?
So it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, with Europe, the population it's very difficult to change the fertility rates. It's very tough. They're pretty enshrined. The effects of abortion over there have pretty much locked in the fertility rates. But Viktor Orban and his changes in Hungary have definitely seen a change. It's a small one, admittedly, but a pretty decent change for how difficult a fertility rate is to affect. So it's been impressive.
Well, speaking of Europe and prime ministers or presidents, how do you
Yeah.
feel about Italy?
Oh, what is it?
Giorgia
Meloni. Such a fan. Although, and the problem is, I'm already getting all these people like, whoa, look at what she said about support for Ukraine and
Right,
Israel.
right.
Yeah.
And NATO
Yeah.
and all that
It's
kind of
like-
stuff. Yeah.
Dude, they're in Europe. This is like Italy. This is a major country in Europe. The shift of their politics is going to be very different from ours. And might be a spoiler to some of you guys. The war between Russia and Ukraine is not something that is, very two-sided in Europe. This is
Right.
a very one-sided issue for most countries. So Giorgia Meloni's in this difficult spot where she has to kind of play herself as a moderate, because whether you like it or not, a lot of moderates came to her side of the aisle in order to get her elected. And she, especially in her statement accepting the victory, basically said it's like, the people have elected a moderate right government. I don't think she'll rule as moderately right as she's letting on. And a lot of people are saying like, this is fascism back in Italy, which I don't think is true either. But I mean, this is a victory. This is an Overton window shift. This is like Marine Le Pen version 2, because Marine Le Pen didn't win, obviously.
Marine
but-
Le Pen.
Yeah, yep. And this is honestly just awesome. The fact that we have this representation in Italy is really cool. And no matter what way you strike it, this is a better political outcome for Italy than it had prior, and for the rest of Europe.
I loved her speech.
Yeah.
God, family, and country. And
Well,
talking
that was a speech that wasn't necessarily given on any campaign trail, was it? It was maybe given at some sort of summit.
Yeah, it was some summit or convention.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how the importance of maintaining religious identity, national identity, and the globalists just want to turn you into a number and a consumer.
And it sounds so much better in Italian.
Yep.
Oh, so much better.
Like hearing Tulsi Gabbard give that same speech, I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're
We're
suspect.
not at the whim of financial speculators.
Oh, yeah, how great is that?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
I mean, Italian fascism.
Yeah, can someone walk me through Mussolini and give me the
I'm not a big history nerd. There's
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
not
people.
either.
who
I
could,
studied
break it
I
down,
studied
but-
more
because apparently
Germany and Russia.
his
so not so
platform
much
was
on-
apparently God, family, and country too.
I know a lot of people are giving her crap for having the tricolor flame.
Right.
That's the big thing.
What's that?
But-
So the tricolor flame goes back to, I think, the fascist party in Italy,
Yeah.
where they just have a flame and it's got the green, white, and red of the Italian flag.
So maybe someone in the comment section can give us a
Rundown
quick
of
rundown of
Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Jack, man, this is not a very nice. Man, I love hearing a Mormon speaking about European politics in the most generic, understanding way possible. I guess.
I'm glad you are enjoying, Jack. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's people in the comments they're smart people.
Yeah.
I give them a lot of credit. I really do. I really appreciate the sarcasm that I can recognize almost immediately, and I do wish I had that skill because they can impart some really serious sarcasm.
I just love that, like, the two things that are just so different. I love hearing a Mormon give his take about European politics. It's like, what do those two things have to do with each other at all?
Mike brought up the guy who I've been going back and forth with in the comment. He brought up a good point. He said he's not mad at me. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at you, Mike.
We love you,
But he
Mike.
did say that he's tired of conservative men kind of being less choosy when it comes to meeting women of the same values. So he's tired of like conservative men basically just simping.
Yeah, no,
trying
true.
to find a girl.
You have to- you have to be.
100%. I do agree with that. I was just saying my personal point of view. I wasn't necessarily looking for that specific something. I don't know if I just got lucky, just kind of like saved by grace or whatever it was.
think you
but
did.
I think I
Yeah.
probably did get lucky
Yeah.
too.
It was God's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. But I mean, you can't be fully aware of God's plan as it's unrolling and while it's happening.
But you
so
can
you kind of have
appreciate
to
it.
put. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. But definitely, yeah, I understand that. I understand. Listen, I understand it's harder to meet girls or just generally you young people. It's hard to meet each other nowadays. The sex rates are going down. The amounts of babies that they're having is going down. So I understand it. That this thing is probably the number one killer of being able to find.
Well,
Yeah, it's
a spouse.
the interesting thing about the sex rates is that it's actually just with men.
I was just gonna. Oh wait, I was gonna say something different.
Wait, the
Go
sex
ahead.
rates going
Go
down
ahead.
is with men. You're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless
I was gonna
you're
say something
something
different. I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's interesting that the number of sexual partners is obviously increasing, but people are having less sex
Not
Okay.
just all people though.
than ever before. Men.
It's men generally, which means that the sex is now restricted to like 10-20% of men. And then way more female partners.
Oh, so 10 to 20% of the male population is having.
understand.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
interesting.
So there's a
Same.
lot of men in the middle who are kind of falling to the wayside here. And I think that, social media, these dating apps are doing nothing to bolster their sense of confidence in themselves, doing nothing to equip them to interact with the opposite sex and eventually get married. But 10 to 20% of the male population is having, all the sexual partners they'd want. Because, that is kind of the way the world goes. You've got the 10 to 20% of like the most attractive people or whatever. They can have whoever, whenever. And then there's a little bit more competitiveness if you're in the middle of the what do you call it, the bell curve there. So and men suffer more for that. There's this phenomenon, right? Destiny actually talks about this. You never see a homeless woman.
Yes. Yeah.
I have.
Well,
Today.
Yeah, but she was probably faking it. Most homeless people are faking it. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
I say
it
that in
looked
Utah.
pretty genuine.
I say that in Utah, but as a general rule, I mean, it's not
a
to
little
say,
bit. It's a little bit easier.
The
for
only
women
real
not to be
homeless women are in
Right.
San Francisco. That's the
True.
only place that only real.
and
homeless
I'm
women are.
obviously not saying before the chat goes off. Yeah, there are probably some women who are homeless, but as
Fake
a general
news.
rule. Women are always going to have men who are going to say, well, let me take care of you, let me give you these options. Men don't have that same kind of societal support. And so this recent wave of like the more manosphere or the manosphere kind of uprising once again, this manosphere renaissance with people like Andrew Tate or Sneeko, and like the America First politics and whatnot.
Rollo Tomasi.
Yep.
Do you know that guy?
His
The
name sounds
Rational
familiar.
Male.
Yeah.
The
yep.
Rational Male. Yeah.
Yep. these things are really big. It's really good that men are kind of getting the right support that they don't really have societally.
Yeah, men are much more likely to commit suicide. Yeah, it's very sad.
Do you think the Italian PM will pull through and actually do the right thing? This is from Lyndon again. Pray that she's able to follow through with what she's saying. We've been let down in Australia by politicians who say the right things but sell us out. Yeah, same in America. You have people like Dan Crenshaw who are supposed to be, big advocates of what you would think would be like Second Amendment rights and stuff like that. And he totally
and the
sells
red
you out by
flag
red
laws.
flag laws and stuff like that. And
Australia is just screwed. I don't know.
Man.
You guys, I'm surprised if there's any politician saying anything good over there. All my Australian friends are like, they keep
can we
telling me
point
it's
to anyone here who's followed through on anything?
I
I can think of maybe a few
think
congressmen.
Madison Cawthorn had a swing around. I think he got better as he went.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the big sign of that was him whistleblowing on all the gay orgies.
the gay
and whatnot
orgies?
And then, of course, his race was tanked from outsiders who were releasing all this very private information about him. Sussy as it is, totally because he was actually becoming a threat to the system.
There are a bunch of Kentuckians in the chat right now, so I'm wondering how Rand Paul has been doing for the state. Because
Probably decent.
I mean, that guy seems like probably one of the few who seems to follow through on a lot of what he does, like going after Fauci, calling out huge government overreach and government spending and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if anyone from the great state of Kentucky will be able to affirm Rand Paul, yes, is a probably, quote, good politician. So I'm interested to hear there. Listen, Mike, he says, let's see, I'm glad we made peace. I guess it was misunderstanding. I promised me if you knew who I was and the industry I was involved in, my views would make a lot more sense. I totally get it. Me
Watch
and Mike.
him be in the sex industry.
I gotta tell you, I gotta tell
There's
you,
no good women around.
some people, some of my closer friends, especially online, who I still haven't met in person. I've met a couple who I've become really close with. Started out with huge fundamental disagreements and started out almost in caps debates and yelling at each other. And some of those people ended up being really close. So yeah, again, I'm never mad. I'm never angry. Probably just a misunderstanding. But
Go ahead.
I hope he does. I hope you do find somebody, dude. I really do.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
Did he say how
come
old
to
he
the
was?
gala. Here's an open
Thank you.
invitation,
I was
Mike,
just
to the
gonna
gala.
say the next very important topic is the gala. Have we told you about the gala?
don't
Before
think
the
so.
gala, we're gonna get to some
Oh,
super
Mr.
chats. Okay,
Schwemmer.
hold on. We got a big one here
To be
from
continued.
Josh
To be
Burns.
continued.
Sorry, but I can't let him dismiss 1 Timothy 4:3 that easily. The Greek word, whatever that is, means food, not meat. The KJV translated it meat because meat and food were synonyms in Older English. Meat in Greek is that.
Is that?
Okay, I think we'll look at the
Agreed.
context. I mean, what would you consider as food, right? Would you consider the word of wisdom prohibiting the consumption of alcohol and tobacco and things like that as a prohibition on food generally? Or do you think that is probably more in line with veganism or anything else? And I think there's a reason that they were probably synonymous. It's because within context, the word is probably very applicable. And I mean, if you have something else that it's pointing to, if your statement is that it's food in general and you can't ban the consumption of any food, then what if Christians are like, well, you should probably eat less McDonald's hamburgers. You should probably not consume as much soy. Would you say, well, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 13 says you can't forbid food. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense. So I'll err more on the side of the KJV translation there. But I mean, if
Dewey
you have
Rames,
more
Ray.
relevant information, I'll be swayed.
Here's a question. Okay, interesting question. Kai comes on the show. My wife's vegan. He brings up that thing. After the show, my wife is no longer vegan.
Oh, show back.
Babe, if you're
That's what's
watching,
up.
did he have anything to do with it? Probably not. But
That would be huge. That would be big.
wouldn't that be a coincidence or not? I don't know. What were some of the, you said, hey, we're going to get into some topics. And then I was like, hey, super chats.
Gala.
Oh, yeah, gala.
The gala. So Kai doesn't know about the gala.
You don't know about the gala?
I heard you mention it today, but
Yeah, started as a joke, Gina Filliman.
Yeah. So the the IDG gala is going to be a formal event, invitation only.
Wow.
And its main purpose is to gather young, single Christian conservatives to meet one another. And at
He's
this
already
event,
thinking sus.
I will
That's
be
the exact word.
I will be arranging many marriages at this event.
Well, what do you think?
It sounds like you made a bet with somebody about
No.
arranging marriages. and
No.
you're like, just wait.
We were talking about something on the show, and it may have had to do with people
Who
having
was it
trouble
with?
finding.
It was not Bo Diddle.
No, I don't think it was. Maybe James. Oh, it was James.
Jaws. It was with Jaws.
Jaws.
It was with Jaws. Yeah. And it was just an idea. It was like, oh yeah, well, what if we had this gala or meetup or charity event or something where young singles can come and meet each other?
Because we were talking about how it's really hard for young Christian conservatives to meet one another because there are no real events like
you
we were joking
talking about that. I wasn't talking about that.
We were joking about how TPUSA conferences are like,
good.
not the place to be to meet people.
I think my hesitancy to it is just like the history of meetups that are designed for people who
To meet
have
each other.
trouble finding partners,
All
but
socially awkward.
it's
Or is it
invite
like-
only.
Love
It's
on the
invitation only.
spectrum.
So yeah, yeah.
One episode of
Oh,
that.
it's great.
my
It's great.
Yeah,
It's so endearing.
It's cute. It
cute. Really is.
But if it's invite only, I think
It's a
you
vetting
minimize
thing.
some
We
of
vet
the-
you.
we look at who you follow on
Oh, it's
social
kind of like
media,
married at first sight, right? We're the people that say, oh, this person would be good with this person. Oh, it's almost like a forced blind date, really. You come to the
Yes.
gala with no intention of a date, though we are inviting some married couples just so that hey, look, there's married couples around. This is what I
shall
can
be
attain. Right,
chaperoning.
exactly.
Nice.
So what if we
Everybody's gonna
have,
fruit snacks?
you
and
know, Stacy,
Kool-Aid.
juice boxes.
your invitation to the gala has been approved. Brendan, your invitation to the gala has been approved. Brendan, did I say Brendan? Brendan
said
and
Brendan.
Stacy don't know this, but when they get to the gala, they're going to be matched up. You guys are going to spend
Yeah.
some time with each other.
And Jaws was joking about how we'll look through who everyone's following. If they follow Alex Clark, no
Cut
invite.
off.
Oh yeah,
No
we do
chance.
have to
Or-
go
or
through their
Emily
social. Can't be
Emily South
private.
America.
Can't be private.
I disagree.
Well, how are we
Yeah.
supposed to? How are we supposed
You
to
have
get
to
an
accept
idea?
the follow.
Well, yeah, they have to accept.
But private
Private's
accounts,
fine.
private accounts for women is a very good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If she has like over 1,000 followers, it's like you're
But
getting
then, no.
into
But
dangerous
see, the thing
territory.
is, we have to then follow this person. What if I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to
fine.
follow you?
Well, just follow. Get all
you
the
can
information and then
unfollow, yeah.
unfollow.
Well, if you're coming to the gala, we should follow you. That's nice.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah.
Fed informant Mike is gonna do his reconnaissance.
Here's from Matthew Williamson, a super chat. Is absolute power corrupts absolutely a fallacy, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what way? What do you think? It depends on who's in absolute power.
Well,
Would it
yeah,
have to?
exactly. I don't think that I said this on I think the last show where I don't think the state has like an implicit political stance or persuasion, and I don't think the power itself is something that causes people to make certain decisions. I think if somebody goes into it looking to wield power for certain things and for certain purposes, they'll stick to that. But I do think it's a test of willpower. I think it will test your virtue and your ability to control yourself. So it basically reveals absolutely is what I have heard I think it was some boomer on TikTok say this, but it's like absolute power reveals absolutely what somebody truly is.
Yeah, it's like that saying that power doesn't change you; it reveals who you really are.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it's true.
Here's a Fed posting question. What type of protest would you actually go to where if you had to, you would defend yourself or the people around you? I would probably do it at an abortion protest. I think so.
my answer
We were talking about this earlier, and I was just talking about, was it a song that makes me want to become violent?
Yeah, it was the.
It was just
Peaky
like, this song
Blinders
makes me want to become violent. Song by Idols, Cold Kill 'Em with Kindness. But I was just thinking that. I was thinking about it earlier in the day. I was like, I don't know if I would necessarily put all my cards in a basket for, let's say, a transing the kids movement or protest, or I would go to one, but the odds of me becoming enraged and filled with the energy of Christ to defend the unborn would probably show up at an abortion rally where I would have to punish pro-abortionists. I don't know. That's like,
I don't know if I can sponsor that.
no, I know. Listen, I'm Fed posting again, but we were talking about this. We were like, I'm at the point now where I almost don't. This is kind of like why I stopped the man on the street stuff. I don't necessarily want to get involved where something can become heated and then something happens. I have a family now. Am I willing to put myself out there and then possibly get arrested, possibly get charged with something, possibly have a suit brought up against me? I don't think so. I'll advocate for the stuff I believe in online, but necessarily going out there physically, I don't know. I'm kind of having to start those feelings.
That's why we were a little bit hesitant at the library last
Yeah.
week because some guy, some everyday dad, is getting sued by a
Oh,
library.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Because he didn't record. I may be butchering the story, but he approached a librarian and expressed concern about sexually explicit content being made available to children.
Wasn't recording the conversation that he was having with the librarian.
The librarian accused him of calling her a groomer and all the other, similar other
And the
words.
librarian got the ACLU, right? on her side. Was that it?
Yes.
And they were,
They're suing him.
they're
for
suing him.
defamation.
Defamation, maybe untold amounts of money. And, just even before you get to a trial, you can be kind of
Like he's obviously going to win the trial, but the problem is they're just bleeding.
they're
him
draining
dry.
him. Yeah. And that's a situation I don't know if I'm necessarily ready to put myself in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
Because we're the everyday people and we don't
Right.
have, and the GOP, it was never going to get behind anybody
Yeah.
who was willing to do that because they're spineless cowards.
Yeah, here's the problem with that.
Uniparty.
Saying spineless cowards, like, am I a spineless coward by necessarily not physically standing up for what I believe in? At the point, listen, before wife, before kid, I remember I went to, this is one of Gavin's rallies that he had in New York when it was an anti-Sharia rally. And they had the anti-Sharia people who, for people who don't know, Sharia law, they were protesting that because they were talking about, a lot of fundamentalists were talking about bringing Sharia law into the United States. So a bunch of more, I guess, liberal Muslims, you would say, and people on the right were like, no, Sharia law is bad. We don't want it here. But then the anti-protesters that showed up didn't even really know what they were protesting. It was just a bunch of socialist organizations that were busting only to obviously combat Gavin McInnes.
Yeah.
And I was there and I was in people's faces and stuff like that. But I was like, that's a young and dumb kind of move. Like, I don't really need to do that now.
You just have a lot at stake now. And a lot of people want to do this. They want to do something really big because they want to prove to themselves, like, I'm very serious. And I'm like, I take this really serious and I'm a big man or whatever. What really at the end of the day is often more telling of your character and of how big of a man you are is your ability to kind of rationalize the situation and say, you know what, I'm jeopardizing a lot. I am like putting my family in danger. I'm putting my livelihood in danger, putting myself in physical danger.
Right.
For what? Right. And so the argument from the politician's perspective, I think, is a lot more convincing, where it's like these people are elected to take these stances,
Yes.
and they're elected to defend the people who found themselves in those situations.
This is why I criticize Abbott for sending those buses
Yeah.
of aliens to DC. Bro, oh, okay, what's going to happen? If you put him on a bus and send him back to Mexico, what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble?
Yeah.
Daddy Biden going to slap your wrist? What is he going to threaten to arrest you? Even if arrest were on the table, like, you are elected to protect the American people and represent them. Like I said
Not
in the last
even
episode,
that. You're
it's
the
like,
governor of Texas.
come on. You're sending the immigrants into DC. They're going to go to Virginia. They're going to go to Maryland. They're going to vote. They're going to have babies. They're going to vote in more Democrats.
I know they're in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's like, and I always say this, the founding fathers committed treason to found this country. And we don't even have a GOP politician who has the guts to send some illegals back across the border on a bus.
Right. Yeah, just do it.
Just
Shia
do it.
LaBeouf would say, do it. Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, Kyle Rittenhouse, perfect example of what we were talking about before. Young, single guy, obviously has his ideals and believes in them very much, that he would go over there to volunteer and help protect a business that was looking for help. He eventually defended himself, which I was thinking now, if I went to like an abortion protest or something like that, and if I was with a group of people and anyone attacked them, I would respond in kind to defend those people. Yeah. But
is Kyle okay these days? Did you see that video? Is he all right?
Oh, the TikTok thing kind of thing? I don't know.
He's not okay.
He
needs a little Kai in his
let's
life.
not
like
gossip, guys. We're men here.
19-year-old
2/3.
kid, and
As are you.
As am I.
When's your birthday, Kai?
December 17th.
Oh, almost 20.
Almost.
Sagittarius.
Yep.
Blaspheme. That's
true.
That's
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
No,
No,
true.
you don't do zodiac stuff.
Yeah,
You're
zodiacs
you're not
are
gay.
blasphemous, but so
Corrected
real.
that
Though.
live
Are you
on air, though.
December
That was
birthday?
great. No, November, late November.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
real. Yeah, with John actually has a really good take about this. He's just a 19-year-old kid who happened to be at a place where he had to kill a pedophile and shoot a domestic abuser, and so people expected a lot more out of this guy. And to be fair, he's been thrown through the conservative media outlets, so he should be more conservative. But what do we know about those places? What do we know about TPUSA? That they're not really all that conservative. So he had a lot of people being very bad examples, in my opinion, or I'm assuming that was the case. And also, I mean, you're throwing this guy into celebrity status, where every girl's throwing themselves at him, and you're a 19-year-old kid. That's a lot to handle, especially if it's overnight. So him, making videos with his girlfriend, saying whatever stuff is predictable, but obviously just kind of depressing.
It is.
Never meet your heroes.
When I was living in LA, I had a T-shirt that I wrote "Don't meet your heroes" on it. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Have you ever met a hero that you were disappointed with?
Oh, that I was
Disappointed
disappointed
by?
with. Oh, interesting. Well, I met and photographed Paul McCartney. Did you see the photo that I had in the office?
Yeah, I think so.
You like that one?
That's sweet.
Oh, did you bring Kai by the house today?
Yeah, Kai. Oh, he met my daughter.
Isn't she adorable?
She is
She
awesome.
cried at
She is
first, which we expected, but warmed
Right.
up to him really quickly, brought him her Oceans book, so they looked at sharks and dolphins and stuff
Oh
like that.
my
And
gosh.
Kai was
What's up,
making.
Bruce, the
Oh yeah,
beagle?
Bruce the beetle.
Oh,
That's Gina's. Yeah.
She looks like a little toddler now. She's going to be 1 next week.
Oh, you guys have to have play dates.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
so cute.
Yeah. We were going to last Sunday, but we'll definitely this weekend.
Oh yeah. Let's do it. We're
Yeah.
gonna report.
My daughter
this.
loves
We're gonna
going
put-
over to their house because new toys.
Yep.
All the new stuff.
Oh, okay. Take it away because I'm getting rid of some chat here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Or were you just talking about something really?
It was Mike. Mike's being taken care of. Oh yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It is unfortunate, but I keep forgetting how young he is. 19.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be a teenager?
Taylor Swift.
It's like it's just slipping through my fingers. I'm gonna
I
be
know.
20
I know.
in like 2 months.
You got to
It's
do
gonna
something.
be all over.
Yeah, you got to do something incredible before December 17th comes.
True.
So
I've got
much
a lot of good
potential.
speeches.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you. Where are you speaking? And when you go speak somewhere, what do you usually speak about?
So the speaking topic really depends kind of on the venue. Sometimes they tell me what to talk about. I've talked about technology. I talked about Christian nationalism when I was at ASU. I talk about immigration sometimes. I have talked about kind of the leftist worldview and all the ways it's kind of divorced from our inherent, nature that God's written within us. That's what I talked about at the Trad Forum that Michael Sisko did just recently.
Great.
That was in West Virginia. That was awesome. And then I'm going to be on the 21st of October. I will be at Florida Atlantic University, most likely. That might change, but hopefully not. And then on the 25th, I'll be speaking at the University of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame is what we call it in America, right? Yeah. Instead of Notre Dame. Or Notre Dame. Is
Notre
what
Dame. We
call
say
it.
Notre Dame.
Why do we say that?
I don't know, but I thought maybe it was a Southern thing. That's how we said it in
Notre
the South.
Dame?
Notre Dame.
A lot of people say Notre Dame. No one says Notre Dame.
Yeah.
No.
I used to say that all the time. People are
Hey
like,
Gina,
"You're
check the
going
screen
over."
out. Invite me to the gala. I'm a filmmaker that grew up as a missionary, kicked out of a church because we were seeing
Nick!
miracles and deliverance. It was ungodly. Gina knows me.
Nick's awesome. Nick, you are most definitely
Thanks,
invited
Nick.
to the gala. Nick's great.
Is Nick single?
I
Is
believe
he looking
so.
for a Christian gal?
I believe
I hope so because he asked for an invite.
Kai, we
Yeah.
don't need that.
He's definitely
Okay, we're
he's
making
definitely invited.
banter for the show.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Wait, I keep seeing and hearing this term Christian nationalism, and I haven't had the chance to dive into it and really understand it. Can you give us,
Oh, because of MTG.
yeah,
or even
Christian
before that, yeah.
nationalism
Yeah.
101?
Yep.
I know what I wanted to talk
And then one more
You know what
event in
I'm talking
Alabama on the 26th with
Okay.
Elijah Schaefer, Tyler Russell. Great guys. It's going to be awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. Everybody needs to go attend those. They'll probably be my last speeches for 2 years. So
Oh yeah, that's right. And your last speech is as a teenager.
Wait, when are you doing that? when do
the
you leave
earliest
for
would be
that?
November. November 1st, the
Wait,
earliest. I
this
would go.
November? And then you're gone for 2 years?
Oh dang! So I just realized that we're not going to see for 2 years.
Wait,
It's
so
gonna
you
be-
can
You guys
like,
have to welcome me back into the fold.
You're not going to be baby Kai anymore when you come
I'm
back.
going to be 21, almost 22.
wait. So can you do any content while you're in a mission or just nothing?
I can write emails.
Really? Telegram
Missionaries
signal?
have been doing like TikToks, so I don't
Don't
know
do
what
th-
the
don't-
guidelines
don't
are
do
there.
that. Well,
Yeah, I'm not gonna do
Don't-
that.
don't do that.
But emails for sure.
Man.
I'm gonna have Wooza, who's another LDS guy, update my Telegram.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just about to ask, Telegram, okay.
Yeah, the editor is hopefully gonna upload some videos on my behalf.
Okay.
Some compilations. I need to figure out how to pay like monthly or something for that. But I want to be putting out content while I'm gone, just so people remember who I am and welcome me back.
Okay, you have it.
We're
in
going to have
the-
a big old welcome back Kai live stream.
Oh, we
Please,
should.
please,
That'd be
don't
great.
forget about me, please.
Yes.
Before you talk about Christian nationalism, the thought, we talked about this before, the idea of conservatives, especially conservative Christians, supporting Israel, the state. I support Israel in the way that the Holy Land is there. It's the birthplace of Christ. And the church, I support that. I don't necessarily support the government of Israel because I know right now there's a lot of persecution of Christians in Israel.
True.
Remember that video that I sent you?
I actually,
I sent it to you yesterday. I was like,
Yes.
let's talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. We talk about that, and we can talk about Christian nationalism.
yeah,
as well.
I talked about that at my Tradform speech. Actually, I brought up the recent TPUSA Israel trip. I showed you that video earlier that Ali Jamal was replying to.
Right. Oh, and we're gonna have
where-
Kangman on the show next week, and he was there, I think.
That's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be interesting. So I kind of talked about that a little bit. And Lily Kate obviously made that video where she was saying that, like, you can't be a Christian without supporting Israel. To which I say, like, okay, that's absolutely incorrect. But the argument typically goes that, well, so many Christian holy sites are in Israel, and Israel allows us to visit them. Well, it's like, hold on.
Allows, yeah,
us?
exactly, key word.
Hold on, allows us. And the retort is often, well, if it was under Muslim control, you wouldn't be able to see it. It's like, well, I mean, it was under Muslim control for hundreds of years under the Ottoman Empire, and they did let us see it. Obviously, it wasn't as freely as we'd like, but right now it's not as freely as we'd like to Israel either. Over like the coronavirus pandemic, Israel shut off travel to the country for anybody who wasn't Jewish because they allow anybody who is Jewish ethnically to travel to Israel, to birthright. And there is absolutely discrimination against Palestinian Christians happening in Israel. There is a ton of discrimination just socially and culturally in Israel. But we're told all the time that unless you support the state of Israel, you really can't be a Christian. What you said is absolutely correct. Our holy sites are there, and that land is very important for us. It's also important for other Abrahamic faiths.
Sure.
Judaism and Islam both have important holy sites there.
Right.
But I think we all kind of share a right to that land. And I don't think one religion should be able to tell us that you're welcome, that we allow you to visit the spot.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of
I don't see that as a controversial take, though. I
Not
don't
at all.
understand why that's so controversial. I
a
mean,
good
I
question.
do, but then I don't understand it as well. Gina, what are your thoughts about that? Thoughts and feelings?
I don't know. It always rubs me the wrong way when I hear things like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just, and I don't know. I definitely don't know much about history of Israel. Definitely don't know much about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But I always question, and I mean, I know a little bit too much about TPUSA than I should know. I always question why conservative Inc. organizations are so hell-bent pro-Israel, and they make a lot of content about Israel. I'm like, can we focus on America maybe for a second here? Can we just... Can we?
Yep.
They make a lot of content about it.
And this is like your big thing is like, hey, we have this like yearly retreat, not to George Washington's like birthside or like to Monticello or anywhere there. It's like we are going to send
Hermitage
you
down the road.
to Israel.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why? To teach you about how important the relationship between the United States and Israel is. It's like, isn't this like a conservative American, college organization? Why are we going to this foreign country? And then on top of that, we get a tour guide, or well, the people going would get a tour guide, and the tour guide would say, "Wow, this is like all these holy sites." And
This
I
is
mean,
the Sea of
Jesus-
Galilee. This is where you come
I
on
was
the boat.
waiting
We go
for
down the
this.
Sea of Jordan.
Yeah.
We have a dance party on the boat, my friend. You know what I mean?
Hummus.
We have the hummus. It's the best hummus ever. Don't listen. Lebanese hummus, no good.
Now do Iraq.
And so there's like
Iraq.
there's like all these things where it's like you're being told these are your holy sites, sure. But you're also being told Israel is allowing you to come here, and
Yeah.
the U.S. support for Israel is a really big
Is
thing.
Mike a hypocrite though? Because Mike in 2013 did go to Tel Aviv.
Oh no, that's based.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was
going
with
to
Bieber. It
going to Israel is based,
Right.
And a lot of people just don't understand that. Like Christians shouldn't say like, I don't want to go to Israel because I don't support Israel. It's like no,
you
dude,
should
the holy
go.
sites
Right,
are
exactly.
awesome. You should go. And
I
people
missed
go
out on Jerusalem.
Yeah, people go like on mission trips, or they'll like go visit it as part of like a church if they're allowed to, and that's awesome because the holy sites themselves are very important. What's more suspicious is the fact that Jesus, somebody that the Jewish state of Israel does not see as the Messiah, is being sold to Christians. That's already kind of off-putting in my opinion. And also that we are basically making such a big deal about support for a state which is a state that has closed borders, is ethnically and religiously homogenous, and
I mean,
encourages different policies in the United States.
Right.
And
I wish we had
also-
two of the three. Like, you
Yeah,
know, I
no,
wish we
exactly.
had kind of closed borders and somewhat of a homogeneous.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then, of course, the third part is that the religion of that nation is one that the Christian perspective on is very clear, which is that none come to the Father but through the Son. The same that hath not the Son hath not the Father also.
Look
And-
at that.
Yo, let's go. Let's go, crusade time.
Well, remember I talked about that in
Yeah,
the car?
yeah.
I was just like, why did the Crusades get demonized?
Because it was Christians doing it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. It's because it was Christians.
No,
doing
but
it.
some Christians do demonize the Crusades. They can demonize the Inquisition. Well, obviously, you know that probably Inquisition probably wasn't. I mean,
Well, out of
not people
all
think-
religions, Christians are probably the ones that have the most amount of self-hate. And that's probably because Christians are more white than any other religious group. And white people tend to, especially liberal white people,
Yes.
tend to have the most negative feelings towards
White
themselves.
guilt.
that
white
white
guilt,
guilt.
Do you think that we should close our borders to both legal and illegal immigration
Absolutely.
indefinitely, or
I think just a 10-year moratorium is a good place to start. And then after that point, you can kind of assess. I would say net zero. Immigration.
Legal, you were talking about too?
yeah, both?
Yeah, before I was like, yeah, maybe I'd cap it at around like 20,000 legal immigrants per year, which is a small number compared to the population.
Yep.
And then a week after that, I was like, nah, maybe just shut it down
Yeah.
totally.
I think just
Yeah.
net
A
zero
little
is
bit.
good. If people leave the country,
Yeah.
then we can welcome people in. And the priority would be people who are like getting married.
What are the
or-
statistics
Right.
on expats? Do you have your phone? We don't have laptops.
Probably not
Can we-
many.
I wonder how many expats there are per year from America.
That would
Can we
be
guess?
interesting.
I'd say between 20 and 50,000 maybe per year. That's probably sounds
I'd
like
say
too much.
12,000. I'd say 12,000.
Okay, so you're just going to go half of my guess. I'm going to go
I
below
have
your
no
guess,
idea,
then
though.
maybe 10,000.
Okay.
Maybe not even be that high.
You're not very sure.
Wait,
Yeah.
what are you asking? You're asking
How many people leave America?
Leave.
Yeah, how many leave America to become citizens or live in other countries?
Yep.
Like American citizens,
Yep.
expats. Shut it down, he says. Shut it down.
Nutrient enjoyer. Let's go.
Dude, there's someone in here who just kind of hates the fact that you're a Mormon.
There's probably a few people like that.
Those aren't Mormon holy sites, they're Christian holy sites.
Well,
I told you so,
debunked
anime
me.
pick.
You debunked me.
Anime avatar.
I don't recognize the anime, so it's not good. But
Well, there is only one anime, isn't there? Attack on Titan. That is the only one
The
that
only-
we accept. I don't know. Is it?
oh no, there's so many
Well,
good ones.
Kangman told us about Attack on Titan. He's like,
That's
it's the
good.
most based one.
Well,
out of, I don't know.
It's arguable. Apparently, the ending's not very good, but I haven't read it, admittedly. I'm a big fan of Hunter x Hunter. I
Okay.
watched that recently. There's a lot of good ones, honestly, and a big JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan.
In 2016, the Association of American Residents Overseas referenced State Department statistics that 8.7 million Americans had left the country. That can't be right.
Since when?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
Yeah.
A
MS
poll-
says 30,000. I don't know if he's guessing or I don't know if he looked it up. Hey,
What do you-
guys, anybody? I mean, I have my computer. Hold
I
on.
trust
Let me
him.
just go off.
I trust him.
What do you think
Yeah.
the number one country is that Americans go to?
Canada.
What do you think?
Actually, Mexico.
I was going to say France.
I think Mexico.
I know it's not as big. Well, they're going now. Apparently, they're leaving to Mexico.
Final
and go-
answer?
Well, this
I'm
was
not confident in it.
2016.
Really. Oh, is that from the same article?
I'd say Canada.
Yeah, I'd say Canada too, probably.
Mexico.
Really?
Oh,
Mexico
really?
and
Okay.
then Canada.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah. Nice. Okay.
I love the articles where it's like Mexicans are like, can you please stop coming to our country and like speaking English and like all that stuff. Ask them about Nephites. Nephites are based. The Israelites that came across the ocean and were Christians in the Americas and are the subject of the Book of Mormon.
Wait. Okay. So, Israelis or Israelites, Jewish people from Israel, Israelites that came to America, then
Yeah.
became Christian.
Yes. Well, they were Christian.
Oh, they were Christians.
Yeah.
So they were Christians
Upon
living in
Exodus.
Israel. Okay. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, Exodus.
Well, so they are a Christian population,
Okay.
living during the time of the Bible that leave to the Americas.
Right. Okay. Got you.
So they've
but
got the Bible.
post Christ,
Yes,
because they're Christians.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yep.
The Jews think Jesus was a madman, right?
they think, to quote Ben Shapiro, that he was a Jew who rebelled against the Romans and got killed for his trouble.
Okay, Ben.
Yep.
Okay.
Not a big fan of that opinion. It might
Well,
make
he
you-
would have that opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
That
Which
took a
again,
turn.
there is no, like, I'm not attacking this from any kind of like conspiratorial sense. It's just as a Christian, that is an indefensible position. That is totally not something that you should do apologetics for, and it's much less a belief that should exist in the country who you give the most support to, right? So, not a big fan of that.
What do
Ben
we have
Shapiro
next,
doesn't
Mike?
believe that. Well, that's just what he says. J.A.'s been a long time supporter of the show, and he's always here
He's got
for
the
the.
Cheems profile pic from like 2018.
Oh, okay. So this question was asked before, so I'll bring it up here. Kai, Mike, Gina. I'm going to exclude myself from this conversation, obviously. What's your favorite lift out of the big three? Bench, squat, or deadlift? I just remember I was always able to squat a pretty decent amount of weight when I was working out. But yeah, so now I don't have an answer. But what are your answers now?
Deadlift.
Yeah, deadlift. Yeah.
I think everybody would say that too.
I don't know why it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun.
What's the fun out of it? Like what's fun about it?
Picking up this really heavy weight,
just
feeling
gonna say that.
feeling the bar, like just pull down on the
grip
traps.
strength. Having the grip strength is really and grip strength. It's actually probably gonna be really good for your
this
hand.
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of grip strength is also extremely important for any pulling. So anyone who struggles, especially towards women, anyone who really struggles with pulling strength, like pull-ups, muscle-ups, it's two reasons, almost always. Number one, grip strength, because if you can't hold on to the bar,
Yeah.
like how could you possibly pull yourself up? And number two, scapula stabilization. So that's why one of the reasons why deadlifts are so awesome, because you get that really good grip strength. And then it's really easy to carry your groceries in too.
Yeah.
So that excitement that you got over grip strength and pulling something really heavy would be equivalent to me hitting an 8-iron 165 yards while playing golf.
Probably.
Yeah. Which
Probably.
before my 8-iron was 145. So the fact that I've been able to go up 20 yards with that one club and pretty much all my other clubs is pretty impressive. So I'm stoked about that. I wish someone would ask me questions about golf.
Do you follow GOATA? Do you know what GOATA is? GOATA, greatest of all time athletes. So it's this.
Oh, I just know GOAT.
Yeah. But so it's a system. It's a movement system. They study the greatest athletes of all time, who usually have fewer injuries than a lot of other professional athletes. Oh my gosh, the caption.
Sorry, just showed Gina a meme that said, reject modernity, bully fat women.
Look at the caption.
Oh, I hope Megan McCain sees this.
Oh.
I'm really good at interrupting the show.
Yeah, that's definitely one of your strengths.
Right,
We're
definitely a
ADHD.
strength.
My
Yeah,
husband and I
sorry.
talk about that a lot.
ADHD brain.
I know.
how it
I'm
is.
sorry.
That's
I'm
how
sorry.
it is.
It's
Guys,
okay.
please keep talking. I'm
GOATA.
sorry.
So they study the greatest athletes of all time and their movement patterns. And it's really interesting because if you see how the best athletes move, it's completely the opposite of how we train our movement patterns in lifts, right? The external rotation, heels in, toes out, feet flat on the floor. And I just find it really interesting because I've been studying a lot. Like if you look at how Tom Brady runs, like when his foot comes back, the heel goes out. So it's almost like this internal rotation. It's creating this bow effect with the legs, which is completely the opposite of how we lift in the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm like I almost don't ever want to lift again.
Because
What it does, because well, for me, I've had so many injuries.
Yeah.
And I mean, and because I've always had an issue with duck feet because I don't have the bow. Like that GOATA system of how they study the inner ankle high and all that. I never really got that. So when you don't have that and then you do really heavy lifts, you're prone to injuries.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, with squatting in particular, there's not a one size fits all. You totally have to tailor it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like just the length of your bones, the shape of
Exactly.
your feet. There's so many things that
And
you just have
sometimes
to
just
adjust.
elevating the heels a little bit
Big time.
helps so much with the lower back.
Oh, with squat shoes that they have like a probably 1 inch higher sole at the end and they're weighted. Those help so much with achieving depth.
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
Someone said, Mike, check Insta right now. Oh, I did. I thought he was saying that I was checking Instagram. He was just guessing. I told you I was going to check out of that conversation.
Yeah, real.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, okay.
You should
Not
bench.
for long though.
Do you have stuff to bench with at home?
Yeah, I have the literal bench.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing is my 2-year-old can't spot me. So I guess once I get to a certain weight, I just go to the gym.
Suicide reps.
What's that?
It's exactly what it sounds like. You either hit the PR
Or you don't.
I have to knock the freaking plate off like that.
Well, actually, that is what you would do. You just wouldn't have clips. But it's also like you can safely roll it down your chest and then onto your hips and then just off your.
I don't know, dude.
I've done it.
That meme, your
Actually,
meme.
no, I haven't.
What was the meme again? The
It's like Larry Wheels spotting some guy doing like a 3-plate deadlift.
the freaking it just collapsed on this dude's chest.
So
Like negative gains. What did he say?
so he goes to bench it and then it slips from his hands, rolls down the wrist, almost about to fall on the chest, and then the video pauses. You just see the lines get drawn down and it just says suboptimal.
Oh god, it was not good.
Just the best thing ever. Larry Wheels is like the Grim Reaper of spotters. This guy has spotted somebody as they tore their pec, as they have dropped, barbells on them benching. Like, this guy is just a bad omen. It's so funny.
Oh my
it's actually
gosh.
really not. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's actually
But,
not that funny.
Gina,
It
how
is
much
what
do
it
you
is.
squat? Woman wants to know.
I mean, I don't squat anymore. Kind of going back to what we were saying, like I don't do bilateral heavy squats anymore because I've had so many back issues. But back when I wasn't doing much. I was doing like 185 for 6 to 8 reps, which, you know, was not a lot.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I get that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby Ray, that is a huge 8-iron. I'm telling you, I've gone up quite significantly. But yeah, that's it for that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fitness is cool.
Well, no, that's my 8-iron is a golf club.
No, I know, but I mean like
fitness in general.
The whole conversation of fitness in general, which golf fell under.
Well, yeah, I think so. And I mean, honestly, doing push-ups probably helped me hit a little bit longer because I'm just building mass.
Felt different.
Yeah, those gains have improved to yardage gains.
How often do you play?
Once a week. Once a week, and I may go to the driving range maybe once a week too. So play a course, play 18 holes once a week, and then maybe go to the driving range once a week.
Honey, imagine Kai doing jiu-jitsu. How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", the perfect height.
I was gonna say it's actually a really good height.
Yeah,
it's actually
The
You don't want long levers.
No,
you don't want really long levers when you fight.
Sniper Waffle wants to know:
anyway.
Does hubby work out with you at all, Gina?
Not since the baby, because we have to trade off.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
we used to train together a lot. I mean, of course, back when I was doing jiu-jitsu, he would help me a lot with theory. And because I had more experience teaching lifting and strength and fitness in general, I would help him with some strength programming too. But we're not able to train together anymore because it's like one's with a baby, one's training. I mean, every once in a while, maybe if she's sleeping and we're both, in the garage gym together, but that's a very rare
You have a garage
occasion.
gym? That's like the best thing ever.
It's the best.
That's all I need. It's the top of my Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the garage gym.
Yeah, we just have a squat
tried
rack
to do one.
and then some dumbbells and kettlebells.
Yeah,
You got
that's what
the
we're
bench
gonna
and
do.
the 7.5 weights?
No, well, my wife is using. So we have the dumbbells that you clip on the weights. So she's currently got the. I think she has 15-pound dumbbells. So she's got those two. So I think I can max out on those dumbbells 30 pounds each. Okay. Just with the weights that we have. I'm not saying that I can max out 30 pounds, but that's the available weight that we have. Just dumbbells. I was talking to you about it before. Dumbbells are so expensive.
Real.
They really are.
Plates are, barbells are,
they?
dumbbells are.
My husband he bought all of it, so I don't really know.
I bought some used dumbbells, which were a little bit cheaper, but they generally charge, $1 per pound. So
I think we got almost all Rogue, right, honey? We got.
Oh, Gina, that
good.
comment is for you on the screen right now.
What?
Have you ever tried running from Pipples as cardio?
Lol. I don't do cardio.
I don't know,
so
Gina.
no,
This
I'm just
Pipple is
kidding.
after you. What do you think?
Tyrese, where's his collar? You want
I
to talk
think
about
I took it
Pipples?
off.
Tyrese.
Or
let's go.
Tyrone. It depends on our mood. Tyrese, Tyrone, or what's the other one? Tyson.
Tyson? Yeah.
Ty.
Yeah.
He has not been.
He's not been neutered.
No,
Listen, I told you so, said to Kai, I hope I haven't been mean. I actually like Mormons. I don't like Mormonism, though, because it pretends to be Christian.
He's just so
Yeah.
good.
I appreciate you saying that you don't want to be mean. Half pit
My
bull,
dog
he's a
is-
Calvinist. That's funny. Well,
great.
hey, I appreciate it. I mean, the Mormonism is Christian debate can go on for like ever. In my opinion, my standard for what Christians are people who believe that Christ is the Messiah who atoned for the sins of all mankind. I think after that point, you can call yourself a Christian.
But not God.
Well,
That's what someone
That's
asked.
the
They would
convoluted
ask.
part,
They would say,
yeah.
ask Kai, believe in Christ, but you don't believe that
Trinity?
he's God.
we believe that Christ is the Son of God, and we worship him, the Holy Spirit, and God the Father as one.
Right.
So as God, basically.
Okay. So you do believe that Christ is God.
Basically,
But within the concept of the three as a whole?
yes.
Okay.
But we believe they're physically separate.
Right.
And so it's very similar to the Trinity, but there's a lot of like differences in the nuances.
Yeah. Oh, you missed the part where he drank a lot of that pretty quickly.
I'm a
so
white
the first
monster.
Don't drink this, Kai.
the first
No, it's
10
so
minutes of
yummy.
this was we were all over the place for about the first 10 minutes.
It was wild.
What do you think the sugar replacement is? Do you think it's do you think it's stevia? What do you think it is?
Oh, I haven't looked, so let me guess. I mean, I would guess stevia or
I don't know what it is, but it's yummy.
or monk fruit.
Here you go,
Let's
Kai.
see.
Kai, are you gonna get on the calisthenics grind? That's what it's gonna have to be during the mission. That's what it's gonna have to be. I'm like voice cracking because I'm like cheering up. Like I'm not gonna be able to lift weights.
Just bring a pair of wooden gymnastics rings
Yeah.
everywhere, and you can hang them over, and you can do tons of pulling and pushing.
I'm debating the
cake is in the shot.
adjustable.
Go back to Gina's camera, Adriano. I just kind of forgot how this cake has just been in front of Gina
That's
the whole
great.
time.
Can I have another slice?
Yeah, I was
Do
actually
you
going to
want another
ask if you
slice?
wanted
No,
some
awesome.
more.
They're so yummy.
Yeah, I do. I do like.
Yummers.
Here's the thing about me. I know I'm super particular. I just don't like. I don't like baked fruits in cakes because you
So you're
have
appreciative.
you have the airiness. Listen, you have the airiness or the density of the cake,
Yeah.
right? And then you may have either like a crunchy fruit or a sort of mushy fruit that's in there that kind of messes with the texture of the cake. Put the fruit on top, that's fine. That's why I like good cake or either like a cheesecake, which is like a nice mushy sort of creamy thing with a nice kind of crunchy crust.
good cheesecake.
Right, a good cheesecake. But then
New
you throw
York
fruits in there, it messes with the texture of it. So that's why I'm kind of against. But the cake is good though. I mean the very crunchy parts of
I'm
it.
more against the texture of the nuts than I am of the fruit. I think the fruit.
I don't
is
mind the
more
nuts.
Consistent.
I
Really?
don't mind the nuts.
You
Yeah,
don't mind them?
because it's crunchy. So soggy and the density of the actual cake, I don't like that. But when you put a little bit of crunch in there, it's nice.
I like the different textures. I like a textured dessert. I also, what else? Oh, I made a really nice toffee apple cake the other day.
Kai, is this real?
What?
No.
Okay.
Is Kai short for something or is it just Kai?
I wish it was short for Kaiser. That would be cool, but no, it's just Kai.
It's just Kai.
I'm gonna name my son Kaiser though.
Kaiser Schwemmer.
Yep.
You have a sister, right? I was going to ask what her name is, but you don't have to say it on air.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Leia,
Oh, Gina.
Leia.
Look at
like
this.
the princess.
How,
Fruit and nuts and chocolate, not cake.
L-E-I-A or L-A?
Leah.
L-E-A-H. That's a nice name, you know, because I was kind of going through some potential nice girl names. And
Do we throw
I
this one
like
up
that name.
Yeah. Oh, my conservative crush. I don't know. Who? That's actually. I should know this. I'm like known for like being the like e-girl apologetics guy. Not true.
Who do you
but
like?
Who do you like?
There's like
It's
nobody
a
who
great
like, really
song by
stands
LL
out.
Cool J. Who do you love? Are you sure? I know Adriano knows it.
I
Who do
don't
you
like
love?
I don't like
don't like-
Emily Saves America. Brett Cooper's nice looking. She seems nice.
Taller than you.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's tall.
No, I don't know. She's also in the Daily Wire outfit, so I'm a
You know
little
who'd be
suspicious.
nice? Yeah,
But I do like
we
Brett.
hook up Morgan and Kai. That'd
Morgan
be like-
Zaggers?
Yeah.
Isn't she like, how old is she?
She's older.
She's too old for you.
significantly.
Yeah.
She's too old for
I think
you.
it'd be nice.
I'm
a
a
little
baby.
May-December relationship.
No, he needs a lass who is currently like 16 or 17, and then give it a couple years, and then she's ready.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't
Mike.
know.
All right, 18.
Social
I don't know. I
Trinitarian
can- I
is
can
a
shoot a
theological
little
term
higher.
for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit being physically distinct and still being one. Ah, okay. Is that a Mormon term? The social Trinitarianism?
No.
Or okay.
No, that's a little different too.
The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit being physically distinct and still being one. Okay. Yeah. There's a okay.
Now all I can think
read
about is
that
who we
one.
can set Kai up with.
I'm evaluating and working on some options.
I think-
Ladies, you can send in your
it's-
applications.
It's nobody who's like a big
Oh,
conservative.
you won't
e-girl.
be
I
here for
wouldn't
the
do that.
gala. That's okay. That's right. Darn.
Oh my gosh, Kai, you're not going to be here for the gala.
We'll settle for Doyle.
Well,
Canceled. We're canceled.
We're
We're
crossing-
postponing
we're crossing
Postponing
our
it 2
2 and a
years.
half years.
Yeah.
We're postponing.
I was gonna be like the star of the show. I'd be marrying people left and right.
Yeah.
I'm a good matchmaker.
No. You will not be matchmaking at this
I'm so
event.
good at it, though.
young sir. We will be matchmaking. You will be one of the most eligible bachelors there.
If
For
I
real.
if I haven't established a relationship by that time,
I can't believe
Might
he's not
happen.
going to be at the gala. I guess we'll settle.
it's so over.
I guess we'll settle for John. I'm just kidding, John.
John.
That's what I said.
John's
Of
a
course,
sweetheart.
I
He's
said
a
the
great
joke.
one.
Yeah, no, he's great. Whoa, look at this. Brett is a lib. I don't think so.
Well,
Maybe. Oh, libertarian. It could be short for libertarian.
No, I think
Probably.
they mean lib.
Oh, really?
People are gonna take that Brett Cooper comment way too far. I'm not interested in Brett Cooper. I was just saying she looks kind of
It's,
nice.
Her
it's
DMs are
clipped
already
already.
flooded.
It's clipped already.
It's over. It's over. Yeah.
Someone's definitely like live recording this.
Yep.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'm giving this podcast too much credit.
Yeah, people don't care.
No,
Yeah.
they love it.
They're doing
Number
great.
one show on Apple Music right now.
Oh, really?
Right now.
Oh,
Yep, I
oh,
checked.
right now?
I checked. Yeah.
Oh, I doubt it. Speaking of Apple Podcasts, do you want to know what we listened to in the car on the way here?
Don't
He's
say
going to
call.
hate this.
Don't say call her daddy.
Nope. Probably something he thinks is worse. I
Yeah.
think you would say it's
Haram?
worse. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Very.
definitely haram, like on the level of anti-halal. I'll give you a guess. Who is someone that I do not care for? Oh, the list is long.
I was
but
just gonna say that list is long.
who yells in Starbucks lines?
Oh. So had you known who he was before?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Guess
Why
who
did I
he's
play it?
roots with.
Why did I play
oh,
it?
it's called uncancelable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Why did I play it? Was I just like, oh, some conservatives are fake? How are they even conservatives?
Yeah, you were like, let's see how quickly
Oh, let's
we
see
would
how
tap
right.
out.
Let's see
Yeah.
how long you could tap out.
And it literally was the first.
It was what was the first thing? It was like hello, and he was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Uncancelable.
Yeah, he was like,
Something
I'm
like
turning
that.
it off. I was like, no, we're gonna go a little bit
tap it
longer
out.
here. I told him we'd have him on the show, but you're gonna be gone in November, so you won't be able to watch
I'm
that.
still processing the fact that Kai's gonna be gone for 2 years.
I know.
Just don't forget about me. That's the big thing. I keep telling people, they're like, you're gonna be gone for 2 years. It's like, just don't forget about me. 2 years is faster than you think.
Oh, here
He's
we
not
go.
gonna be a teenager anymore.
No,
when he
that
comes
is true.
back.
What state will the gala be in? Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
the volunteer state.
Gentle breeze of Tennessee. Timbo,
What's the-
go look up the song.
What state is Utah? Because you know how like the didn't make any sense. You know how Tennessee is like the volunteer state or the sunshine state.
Beehive State.
The Beehive State. What state is
Yeah.
Utah? Wait.
Yeah.
The Beehive State.
I would ask
in-
you
we're
what is the
industrious.
Georgia nickname, but you obviously know it.
The Georgia nickname.
Yeah.
I actually don't know
Isn't
that.
it Peach?
Yeah, of course. How do you not know that?
It's really called the Peach State.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what's always funny? I always felt like the peaches from Georgia were not good. My
There's a
mom
very-
and I,
yeah.
my mom and I would try when I was a kid to find good peaches in Georgia. We would go to all the little stands on the side and all these little markets, and we could never
Not
find
good.
them.
You ever go to the Peach
The
Truck
Asian
here?
peaches are always better. The what?
The Peach Truck. It's like a big stand. There's one in East Nashville called the Peach Truck.
No.
No, it's probably out of season now. We're gonna go pumpkin picking soon. That's nice. Don't you love this weather? Sweater weather. I love it.
Yeah, it's a little chilly tonight.
Yeah.
I love autism. I
We're-
mean, autumn. Both. All of the above.
God,
That's
you.
real.
Wait, does
How
your
much is in your checking account? Someone wants to know.
Oh, great.
Why would anybody want to know that?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously you get paid to speak, right? You're not doing
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. Most of my speaking gigs have been free.
Do you know that
As
Kai
long
and
as,
I?
as long as travel's taken care of.
Oh, here you go. That's why you don't charge us.
Yeah, real.
Kai and I are the same height.
You are?
Yeah.
Yep.
We matched up today.
I have maybe a centimeter on him.
Maybe.
I was gonna say
Maybe.
I thought Kai was taller.
It's the hair. It was the hair. The hair
It's
made
the
him seem
hair.
taller.
This is my favorite haircut that you've had since.
Really?
Yeah, I like this haircut.
Thank you.
Clean cut.
Yeah.
I like the long one.
You like the long
Or
one.
the mullet. You had the mullet last
mustache was
time.
my favorite.
Yeah, that one. I remember that.
Can I
one.
so
say
fun.
one of my
Very,
best clips from this show is when Kai was talking about Mormonism and we pointed to him when we had the idea for the
Yes.
panel and he was just staring at he was like, what is going on?
Did
It's one of my
not-
favorite things ever.
Yeah.
We're just reminiscing.
One
at
of
this
my
point.
favorite things was when we had John and Elijah on, and Elijah said something about a child or a woman being attacked by a pit bull. What was she wearing?
Yeah. I was quick with it. And then my favorite also maybe my my
so
second
good.
favorite moment was when I said that to Morgan when she said her mom got attacked by a pit bull.
Morgan's reaction was so
She
cute.
was like,
she goes,
"What?"
What?
Because she was like, my mom got attacked by a pit bull. And I was like, what was she wearing?
Did you say it like that?
Exactly like
Okay,
that.
well, that's
like,
probably why she was like, what?
right off the cuff. She didn't understand the joke. It's an inside joke.
But she
You
took it
wouldn't get
well.
it.
What do you
Took
want
it
to
very
do
well.
here? 5 after 10.
It's 5 after 10?
Yeah, 5 after 11 on the East Coast. In the good old mountain time, it's 5 after 9 on the Pacific. It's 5 after 8. I think it's time to wrap up. Right? Or do you want to, or do you want
No,
to stay
we
for a
should
little
we
bit
should
longer?
definitely wrap up, but when we have to
We'll
we
take
have to
maybe one
allow-
or two super chats left. Well, the
Great.
first time we had Kai on, we had him for 40 minutes. That was a gross misuse of time. And now that we've had him, it's been over 2 hours. You came for the last like hour and a half, which is great.
Yeah, and-
Let's allow a couple more super chats.
and then
so
we
that
have
Kai
to
can answer
allow
some
him
questions.
to give a send off and say goodbye to all of our
Oh, that's right.
citizens
Our
before
citizens,
he
yeah.
leaves for 2 years.
Which we don't even know where yet.
Not yet. I'll keep you posted, though.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Where
you
do you
excited?
want to go?
Germany. It's where my dad went. He met my mom over there. It would allow me to hone my German again, which would be really sweet because I can speak right now. But the like cultural, just being engrossed in the culture there and hearing people talk would improve it a lot. So,
Cheers.
yep. Cheers.
Do people say that as much as Gina
bring a
says
nice
juice?
German girl home.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yes.
Who knows though? Who knows?
My hair looks good. Adriana, go back to my camera.
You do look kind of handsome. The mustache too. And the
I've noticed. I'm
lighting.
glad that we've changed angles though, because from the other angle, that one side of my family has contributed to the. My nose is big. It's a
He's
big
getting
nose.
all choked up over it.
No, I got some extra cake that's in the back of my
Some
throat.
water. Drink some water.
Oh,
It
good
went down
point.
the wrong pipe.
You can switch to Gina's knife camera.
You think you have a big nose?
I talk about the Jews one time, and they try to kill me. Wow.
I've got a big nose too.
Do you really?
no, you
Yeah.
don't.
I kind of
Mine's
do.
bigger, right?
Yes,
Mine's bigger.
but
I
it's
know that.
But it's proportional to like
To
the,
my face,
yeah,
I
to
have
the
a long.
face.
Yeah, sure.
Because you have like you have a chin that is
You have a strong
accented.
chin.
Yeah,
My wife says I have a strong
Yes.
chin. I do.
And because the chin is strong, the nose doesn't look out of place, right? If you were a chinlet,
Right.
it'd be over for you.
Okay.
So,
Or if I had, is this considered a neck beard or no?
um,
If I was
I mean,
fatter, yeah,
technically,
right?
yeah. Mostly it's just like being ungroomed and fat that people talk about.
You're still streaming on Cozy?
Yeah, and YouTube, and I upload on YouTube as well.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
It's
That
sweet.
makes
You got to
sense, of
watch the
course.
uploads. They're actually the best content. Teeny
Really?
Beanie does such a good job.
Okay.
Here's a question for you, Kai, because you're leaving soon. People want to know, how do we get on your email list?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll probably post about that. For those who don't know, the email list is for when missionaries go out. We get a whole list of people who want to be signed up for our emails that we
Okay.
do weekly or daily. I don't know how it is, but
That'd be great.
yeah. So I'll post how to get onto the email list as soon as I've got like the mission details ironed out.
Oh, your nose is perfect. Thank you, woman.
Oh,
That's really
Aw.
nice. Tom to 3. Oh, $10. Thanks, dude. Super. Oh, what a good looking avatar this guy has.
so true.
Wow. Hope your mission goes great, Kai. Do you have a favorite book in the Old and New Testament and or a favorite book in the Book of Mormon?
Absolutely. My favorite book in the Old Testament is Ecclesiastes. My favorite book in the New Testament is Corinthians. And my favorite book in the Book of Mormon is Alma.
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 Spanish, that
Alma.
means heart.
Really?
Yeah, Alma,
Based.
I think. Wait, am I right? Hold on. Right? Soul.
So,
Oh, blaspheme.
whoa.
Darn it. Hold on. Alma in Spanish. It's not heart. It maybe is. Oh, okay. I think I know. Yeah, soul. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Soul.
sorry. Heart and soul, kind of the same.
That's a great
Mike,
song.
I'm not a chin cell. You guys are going for the long haul tonight from AOC's Juicy Booty. Poison Dart Groiper. Well,
Love that
that's a
guy.
name. Yeah, is he a good?
What's up?
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Hello,
Poison
Kai.
Dart
Hello,
Groiper's
Gina.
great.
Hello, Mike. Hey, Poison Dart
Hi.
Groiper.
Such a cool guy.
Corazon is heart. You're right. I'm so sorry. My mother would be really disappointed.
Or as the Spanish say, corazón.
No, that's
That's-
from Spain. Corazon.
That's
That's,
in,
that's the
in
Spanish.
Bullet Train.
we speak
The
Spanish.
new Brad
The
Pitt
Spanish
movie.
say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Corazón.
Oh, yeah.
They've got such a good scene. So Bad Bunny, you know, like the artist.
Yeah.
He's
Correct.
in that movie.
Oh, nice.
And does such a good job. And he has this side where he's like, mi corazón. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just really like a passionate, heartfelt moment. It's
I
so
had a
good.
friend, he and his wife are from Spain, and his wife's name is Cecilia.
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 Cecilia, óyeme.
Well, isn't
What?
that just from like the Catalonian accent?
Just Spain, yeah.
Yeah.
So C and Z.
but from that one region too. Yeah.
No, it's pretty
No, I think
widespread
it's-
amongst
Is it?
Spain.
I think
yeah.
it's all Spain,
Okay.
yeah.
Look at this. Check this out. Sniper Waffle and Kai had the same sentiment. Alex Stein sometime, Mike. We
I was
we're-
gonna say that
yeah, we're,
earlier,
we're
yeah.
getting Alex on the show. It's just
Yeah.
that we have to figure
It's
out
only
when
a
he's
matter of
able
time.
when he's able to do it. Yeah.
I was gonna say that, like when we were talking about this earlier, these politicians, they need the energy and like the fervor of Alex Stein. They need like the willingness to fight and to like
Yeah.
be publicly embarrassed and to like make people embarrassed and put them
Yes.
on the spot. That's what we need from politicians.
booty
is
Latino.
Alex
Yeah.
Stein energy.
Listen, when you have someone like Jimmy Dore, who's clearly on the left, appreciate what Alex Stein is doing, I think that means something. And Jimmy Dore will actually hopefully be coming on the show the next time he does a comedy show in Nashville. So he's going to be coming on the show, which is
I
nice.
want to get Crystal Leo on the show.
You want to get Chris? Oh, listen, I want you to pump her up, okay? I want you to really give her the gusto that she needs to DM a certain person to get these people on the show.
I can't
My
do
dad
it,
agreed.
Kai.
No, my dad said getting Novak
do it.
Djokovic on the show would be monumental.
Okay,
a bunch
so
of other people
context.
said Novak Djokovic on the show would be viral. It would go crazy. She knows her.
So
she
tennis is
knows
my
his
favorite
wife.
sport. Tennis is my favorite sport to watch forever. Novak, seriously, is my favorite player since I was 16. And I love his wife. His wife followed me one day.
Wow.
So I said, Gina, why don't you DM her? Get her
But
on
this
the
was
show.
also like probably 2016 or 17
Ooh.
before I was like,
Does she still follow you?
yeah.
Well,
Boom, there you go. The door is open.
And they're
See if-
obviously conservative. Like
see
they
if
obviously
she's
are.
liked any of your recent stuff. If you want to get even more sure.
I think I would know. I think I would have seen that.
'Cause you
I,
see
I
blue
look
check
at, I look
marks,
at who,
you know.
yeah, I look
Yeah.
at who likes my stuff.
I say, what harm
Do
is
it.
it going to do?
Do it.
You only get
I
one
might
chance.
I might just
you only
message
get one
her and
shot.
say
Do it.
hello, and but they can't come into the country now anyway because
They can't?
no, they're unvaxxed. That's why he couldn't play the U.S. Open.
He can come into the States. No, you can't.
Where's he
No.
from? Where's he from?
No, Serbia.
Hey, listen, I would do a Zoom one. Base Serb.
Oh, for
I would do
sure.
a Zoom. If he was willing to come on the show, and we don't even necessarily have to talk about all the vax
Yeah.
stuff. I know you want
But
to talk to
he-
him about tennis,
But he wouldn't because we're we
vote
are-
for
we are.
Novak. In the chat right now, you say Novak. If you want Gina to DM Novak,
I think the
just
best
type
we could
Novak.
possibly do is get Yelena, his wife, and make it be about the Novak Djokovic Foundation because she runs the foundation.
Sure.
But that would be enough.
Would that be the first step?
I mean,
But
I
you
don't,
wouldn't be
I don't
content
do
with that.
celebrities. I mean, they're not celebrities. I guess I don't do like celebrities, but I love them.
Yeah. Do it.
What do you mean? You don't
It's like
do
Shia
stories?
LaBeouf. You
Like I
guys-
don't get excited about celebrities. I'm like, oh my god, I love this person, but like
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
love.
I would
Novak and his
ask
wife.
him on the show to talk about his conversion and stuff like that. Yeah, I would. He would never come on this because
No.
these people have handlers, they have publicists,
Yeah.
they have managers.
Well,
you would never allow
you
him.
need the energy of Shia LaBeouf, though. You saw the Padre Pio thing, and then from
Yeah.
all the way back.
Say
in the
Christ
day,
is King
what
or
was
Christ
it?
is Lord.
It was 2014. Like that is the Christian spiritual successor to do it. Do
Yes,
it.
yes,
just
yes,
do it.
exactly, yeah.
That's the energy you need to hear.
I
You need
know.
that video of Shia LaBeouf just telling you.
What
"Do
I
it."
what I would ask Shia though is saying what I wanted to ask him what was going on in your mind when you did the he will not replace us. Like what was happening there? Were you obviously you may not have been in a good spiritual or mentally well state, but did you realize that you were possibly causing more division by
Yeah.
trying to, repeat over and over a non-divisive sentiment? And I love how it got their
The-
secret location got hacked. I
Have
love
you
that.
seen the internet historian videos about those? So good. Some of the best videos on the internet.
Oh yeah, they really are.
That's so good. I love the cataloging of these like bizarre internet events. Mm-hmm. It's so cool. For all the awful things on the internet, it is a pretty cool place sometimes.
Yeah. I got to tell you, for awful things in the world and on the... I don't know what is happening to me. I had a really bad dream last night. And Chris Pine was in it, but he wasn't important to the dream. I had this dream that... and I was watching it. I wasn't involved in the dream, but I was a viewer of my own dream, basically. I was watching this narrative unfold, and Chris Pine was running from police in a real-life situation. He wasn't in a movie. He was actor Chris Pine. And cops were firing at him, and like some stroller or something got in the way, and this kid just got shot in the back of the head, and like blood started spurting out, and Chris Pine goes, "You killed a kid. You killed the kid." And then I woke up like this, and I saw my daughter's. I'm like, "What? That was a weird dream."
Did you watch Don't Worry, Darling or something?
No.
Okay, because
I don't know
that's-
why he was in there.
That's weird.
The only reason why he could have been in a dream was that my wife and I were talking. It's like, isn't he looking a lot like a woman these days? And we were like, yeah, he is.
He
Kind of. What's going on
is.
there?
He
Yeah.
used to be a pretty good-looking dude, and now
Whoa.
it's just like,
Fubs the fish. Hi guys, no idea what's going on because I missed the stream. So here's money. God bless. God bless
love
you,
Fubs.
Fubs the
Thank you.
fish. What happened during this episode? I mended an online relationship.
True.
We talked a little bit about Catholicism.
Dating.
And dating, Mormonism. How much can you bench? How much can you squat? The ideal Christian e-girl, possibly.
talked about the gala.
We talked about the gala. Italian fascism returning, maybe, possibly, if not.
Talked about
All right, whatever.
authoritarianism.
Authoritarianism, yes.
We almost talked about Christian nationalism next time.
Oh,
Almost.
sorry. Well, do you
I was
want to
just thinking on that.
did you want to give an overview before we go? Because it could be like one of the last things we talk
Sure.
about. Or,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Christian nationalism is basically the idea that fundamental to this nation is a Christian morality and ethics. That this is a fundamentally Christian country. It's not secular. It's not Muslim, it's not Jewish. This is a Christian country fundamentally, and that the morality that is found in Christianity is integral to the character of this nation and its culture, and that the state ought to exist and have the proper authority, and the people wielding it ought to have the right ideas so that they can protect that fundamental Christian identity.
Well, I guess I'm a Christian nationalist.
Yeah. It makes people mad too because you're calling yourself a nationalist, so then people are going to be off
over it.
Exactly. That's the best part.
Get over it.
Gina, we really, we created a monster. We really did. This is a DM I got. I won't say the name, but just, hey, Mike, so from the IDG live stream tonight, if I understood correctly, it sounds like y'all have already got some fans of the show that you've been inviting to the IDG Gala. Is there some formal way of applying, or do I literally just say, hey, would you consider vetting me out for an invitation?
We got to start an Excel sheet.
I know, we really, like...
We've already missed a lot of people that we would say yes to.
Right, and not only that, but people are really taking this seriously. This is
serious.
Well, they're going to be really mad when we realize we got to postpone it 2 years because of this guy.
I think it'd be good. And one suggestion that we got was maybe try and tie it to a nonprofit and maybe do it as like a kind of charity event or something. Could be nice, a fundraiser. Yeah.
Well, okay. Do you want to give a send off?
Yeah, give a send off,
to the
Kai.
citizens.
Oh wait, we're not going to be your last public appearance, right? It might be early November, so you have pretty much a full month. That you've got left. Okay.
At least. Like I said, it could be like January. In which case, guess who's going to the gala?
That'd be well. No, the gala wouldn't happen until
Gala's gonna be in
spring.
the spring.
It's so over.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
Over.
Sorry. Please clap.
Canceled.
Yeah.
Wow. Send yourself off, Kai. Put him on the camera there, Adriano.
Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you've been doing well. I've been doing splendid.
Keep going. I'm going to do a slow zoom in.
Sounds good. It's been great to be with my two great friends, Mike and Gina, again on the I'm Doing Great podcast. I'm going to be gone for quite a bit of time, but I'm doing what ultimately matters most in this world, which is practicing and preaching the faith that I know is true. I hope you'll do the same, whatever that faith of yours is, and I hope that when I come back, you won't forget me, because that's what's most important. So I hope you welcome me in with open arms by the time I return, and I hope in those 2 years, you guys are doing well also. As a little send-off, right now, I weigh 165 pounds. I've got posts of my physique on my Instagram. I've got all of my PRs and my weightlifting records on my Cozy bio and on my Instagram. And I've been training seriously for about 2 years, which means if you start now, you better be able to be as big as I am and lift as much as I do by the time I come back. And if you are willing to take that pledge, post it in the chat right now. Hashtag I take the Kai challenge. My name is spelled K-I for all those who find that too difficult. And hey, take care of yourselves. Christ is King. God bless.
And thank you, Mark Ellison, about to watch a movie with Q Race. What should we watch? Start watching Dahmer on Netflix if you don't mind all the gay stuff. Everybody have a great night. Thank you, Kai, for joining. We really appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you guys.
Come back with a long beard.
Yes. And a wife. And a German wife.
Yeah.
Tschüss.
Tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Stop drinking that stuff.
Oh,
It's so yummers.
Oh my gosh.
The pre-workout's probably worse for me. It's like 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh my gosh.
That was long. Hey, we made 160.